Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. It's November 29th of the 2021st year of the Lord, I guess. Although that is an actual direct controversy. Did you know that the date is actually in question?
The year or the date?
The date, yes. I mean, what year is this? Is this actually 2021?
Oh, well, I guess it's 2021 since we started counting, right?
Well, that's in question though.
Oh,
And
I did
yeah,
not know that.
yeah. Well, because during the Middle Ages or the so-called Middle Ages, most of the time they would write the date. They would put an I in front. You see, meaning
Hmm.
Isus, Jesus, Christ. And then they would
Right.
have, so it would be like I 665. That would mean 665th year after the birth of Jesus. And that changed around the Reformation, right? And they
Hmm.
just started making it a one. So there's a lot of people out there. I was surprised when I saw how many people are on board with that. Real, actual historians, by the way, that it's actually the year. Uh, one. It's not. So it's what is it? It's take 1,000 away. So it's the year 1021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I don't have much of an opinion on it. I haven't studied it or anything like that, but I was really interested to see the names of people who were, bringing this into question because, and I saw a documentary put out by a team of professional Europeans, but so what? Germans, led by Germans, and
Right.
it was very compelling, dude. It was very compelling. I don't know.
I'll have to look into that. I haven't heard about that yet.
Yeah, and I was kind of I'd heard little things because I know that there were I know that there was at least 10 to 100 years that were off because of various popes or kings of messing with stuff for their benefit, right?
Oh, yeah.
I knew that. I figured we were probably in the 70s actually, but I didn't know it was they're claiming like 1,000 years. So that would put Rome.
Elrodimus is saying 2419.
Okay, well now I have never heard the
Oh,
full
now he
one.
deleted it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really giving my opinion on that. I have no clue. I haven't studied. It's something that I've heard about, and I did watch a documentary a few months ago on it, and I was just it's interesting. I never really thought about the fact that our date might be so way off. But it's possible. Nevertheless, I hope you guys are over there hitting that share button. I'm doing that right now. And we're here to talk about comic books, not historical dating, however. And
Woohoo!
what have you read recently?
Oh, recently? What have I read recently? Well, shoot. Into the Breach, I really like. That just got a new issue of that last week, but I haven't read it yet. Or Beyond the Breach, I'm sorry.
Beyond the
From
Breach.
Aftershock. Everything I read is basically these smaller studios, like
Yeah.
House of Slaughter. I believe that is from Boom Studios, and I've got Aftershock Studios, and I get some Image stuff. Mostly it's horror stuff nowadays that I buy.
Oh, I've been kind of getting in a kick on that too. But I like Boom a lot. I read a lot of Boom.
Boom's pretty good. Even Source Point Press is pretty good. The Winchester Mystery House,
Oh yeah, yeah.
uh, Heathens by Aftershock, which unfortunately is a Colin Bunn book, and just about everything I read that Colin Bunn does sucks.
Fair enough. Okay. I
Have
think.
you read Chester?
What have I read? Well, the past week I haven't read anything. But I was, I have completed. Remember how I told you I was reading the full. I bought I don't know. I guess a trade back is what you call it.
Hmm?
The complete run of Man Bat. I did finish that,
Oh, okay.
and I was also reading some 2000 AD stuff with what's his name there, Judge
Yeah.
Dredd, because I don't really know the character very well from the comic. I mainly know it from the role playing game and the movie, of course, which
Right.
the The more recent movie, not the Sylvester Stallone one, which that was fun too, but the more recent one, that Carl Urban one, that was really good. Did
Right.
you see
Yeah.
that?
I did. I liked it quite a bit. But I also back in the day I liked the Sylvester Stallone one.
Yeah, it
Even
was
though
fun.
it was more comedy than it should have been, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it was more comical, more American, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But the Carl Urban one, it was. I really. It feels from people who are Judge Dredd fans that it felt right, and I loved it. I thought it was
Right.
really good. I wanted more of it. And then we talked about here on this channel a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, where Carl Urban was really very positive and interested in being involved in a TV series called Mega City One, and it just seems to not be able to get off the ground, which is really weird to me. Carl Urban is willing to be on your TV show. I mean, that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah. It should be a green light right there. Go for it.
yeah, but I don't know what's going on with it. They're having some kind of problems, but a lot of things are having problems these days. Did you know that there was actually test shots and test screening shots that they had done with Dwayne Johnson as the Crow? They were planning on doing a reboot, and they canceled it. It didn't happen. But did you know that?
I had heard about that. I didn't know he got as far as screenshots, but I heard or test shots. I heard that he was interested in playing it, and I just could not see that all.
No, no.
Uh,
I know
uh,
he's mulatto enough.
Brandon was the best choice. Yeah, Brandon was the best
He
choice, and they should
was the
just leave
best
that
choice. It
alone.
was perfect. But and I love the bad guy in that. He was awesome too. But
Mhm.
but yeah, he most of us when we think of Dwayne Johnson, we don't really think about anything other than it's just The Rock, right? But
Right.
for them, he's like this perfect mulatto that they can replace everything with. They look at him in a way that he doesn't look at himself, right? And we don't look at him either. Because I mean, has anyone cared that he's of Polynesian descent? No,
No,
don't
but
think
they got
so.
an uproar a couple years ago about him playing John Henry because he wasn't black enough.
Well, in that case, I would
Which
have
that
to
never came
agree.
about either. Yeah, it didn't even come about anyway.
Yeah, but I have to agree though. John Henry is based on a real guy. I mean,
Right,
it's
right.
of course,
Hmm.
it's a fanciful look at man versus machine, but John Henry was a real dude. And he is a big old black guy. I mean, I think it's the same thing where because we're looking at a semi-historical figure, it's just like taking Achilles, who's blonde, blue-eyed in the stories, and making him
Hmm.
a black African. It's not right. Leave it alone, right?
Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
that. So I would agree. John Henry should be a black dude. But you know, Jason Momoa as the Crow. No, it was was it Momoa? No, it was Dwayne Johnson, dude. I thought.
I think it might have been both at one point.
Yeah, and I think I would go with Jason over over Dwayne any day when it comes to remaking The Crow, but I just don't know. I don't see them. But I think Jason would be a better fit. Another
They're both
Polynesian
too
fellow.
big. They're too big.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you need someone who's life and stuff.
You
Hey,
need
Rabbit,
Iggy
what's up?
Pop. Iggy Pop should
Oh,
come do
dude, Iggy Pop would be a great villain for a Crow movie,
it.
though. He's perfect. Hey, what's up, Rabbit?
Did you just say Iggy Pop would make a great villain for a Crow movie?
Yes.
He's
Yeah,
in the
well,
second Crow movie as a
no,
villain.
they were talking about rebooting it some years back, and
Oh no,
they'd
yeah.
done test shots and stuff. We talked about a little bit here, um, you know, uh, um, 2000 AD, and in particular Judge Dredd, and the fact that Carl Urban had showed interest, about a year or so ago of wanting to be in the TV show Mega City One, and I thought that he did a great job as the Judge Dredd. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty much spot on to some of the original 2000 ADs if you read them.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought it was very good. The whole it was very good. It's a very close story.
Yeah, it
Unlike
was.
the hideous one that we all know and hate.
Well,
Unless you like Still Stallone, because I fucking hate that one.
yeah, it's
It's
very
a
American.
travesty.
It is super American. That is true. But it was fun when it came out, though. It was fun.
I watched it, yeah. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't just Dread.
Can you tell me?
That
Because
was
I'm
really
actually
awesome.
reading Dread stuff, which I never really done before. Trying to understand the character. What is the whole deal with Judge Death? What's the deal with that?
Um, oh god, that's the Four Horsemen thing. Because you've got all four of them. I don't know if you've got into the. You just need to read it. And also, well, they're not really real as well. And the only way to defeat them is with Anderson. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you if you're reading it because it's a really good storyline. The whole Judge Death stuff.
Okay, all right.
Or have you? I mean, also once you've done that, you can read Judgment on Gotham. I don't know if you've ever read that, when it's Batman versus Judge Dredd and Judge Death's in that as well. That's really good.
Oh, that would be a rough fight,
I
though.
have read that. Yeah, I have read that.
It's really good. It's also the one time when you get to see Judge Dredd say subdue him and they subdue Batman. It is Judge Dredd. It's great. But yeah, and yeah, read that. Did you like it, Eric? Do you think it was good?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's good. I've got it. It's an old one, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think the cover, the whole art might have been by Simon Bisley. Bisley, I think that was
Yeah,
the
it
artist's
might
name.
be. I
Yeah,
think it might be.
kind of a
But yeah, I know stuff
painterly
from that.
style.
It's really, yeah. I can't remember. It's in the other room. I've read it for years.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I haven't read it in a long
Yeah.
time, but I remember when it came out. Yeah.
Well, I'm reading. I haven't got too much into it yet, but I'm reading like a collected, like I guess they call those trade backs, Eric, where they take a bunch of issues and put them into one book. Is that what they
I
call
like an
them?
Yeah,
anthology.
a
Like an
trade
yeah,
paperback.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got my brother's got them. They're like big, thick books, and it tells
Yeah,
you from issue 1 all the way to very well, all the way
wherever
through.
they make it
Yeah.
to. Yeah. I tend to buy those these days because I just don't have time. I don't have a comic book shop near me for one. But I just I tend to buy those, and they look nice on a bookshelf as well.
Oh, they're good
Who?
books as well because you get the full stories, don't you? As opposed to like I've got all the original 2000s from when I was a kid, and like they just pile up and the thin paper. Well, those books are actually nice and will last as well.
Uh, Elrod agrees. He says Judge Death is a whole mother show.
Yeah.
Whole yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just had seen clips of it, and I was like, is there supernatural like that in there?
Yes. Definitely.
Because what I've
There's a
read
lot of
so
crazy
far.
stuff in Judge Dredd.
Yeah, but what I've read so far is more like mutants, things
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
more
yeah. You get
science
like
based.
when you go out, you've got the family, with Mean Machine and all that, like all those kind of hillbilly weirdos, all
Yeah,
that freak
yeah.
mutant stuff. Yeah, yeah. Because he was in the Judge Dredd Stallone movie, one in Mean Machine, done badly, but he was in it. And then, but yeah, there's a lot of ones. I've got one in a graphic novel when he goes through this. He's chasing this guy. He's got this weird like dimensional portal thing, and he chases him into the world of Bambi, and this criminal holds Bambi for hostage and just tries to shoot straight through Bambi and kills the guy. No,
Yeah, that
I've got one
sounds
with this
right.
guy going around melting people's faces with disintegrate rate. It's great. It's yeah, it's more my kind of thing. It's just why don't know anything about Marvel.
Oh,
I
well,
know
that's
everything
fine.
about it.
I get that. And I've been looking. Actually, Todd Mulrooney, who we haven't heard from in quite a while, but he actually got me on reading some of the European stuff. And they don't do superheroes in tights over there. Their superheroes are more real to life or fantasy based. And it's fine. It's interesting. You don't have to have people in tights. Maybe that's just a very American thing. Like over here in Japan, they have a lot of superhero anime and manga, right?
Yeah,
They don't wear tights.
no, that's definitely an American thing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, comic books, we created comic books, so it's like one of the few things we actually made, right? Most things came to America, and I think in general saw improvement. But comic books are and jazz, that's kind of our actual creation, you know.
Yeah, we created metal.
You guys create a lot of shit. The
Yeah, it's
British,
true.
yeah, lots and lots of things. The Americans get accreditation for a lot of things, but it's more of us just kind of taking it to the next level,
And
really.
changing it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
in truth, the things we've actually created are smaller, a number of things. But anyway, the reason they did that originally, that they had the tights on, was because they were kind of emulating the old lords, right? And that's where the cape comes from too. and it just
I get the
became
cape,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, it became this amalgam into what it is today. But I don't know, Eric. Do you have problems with men in tights?
No, I love Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that movie's fantastic.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not going to wear tights, but no, I'm so used to it, reading comic books for, what, 30 years now.
Yeah.
So used to it, some stuff looks a little weird when it's not in tights. I
Because
get
it shows
upset
off all
when
the muscles and stuff, doesn't it? I guess
yeah,
as well.
yeah, and I get upset if Superman isn't wearing his underwear on the outside.
Yeah, no, it is
I
weird.
find it weird that he does.
Hard to get used to be honest with you. Elrod says best thing in the '90s Dread movie was Max von Sydow. Yeah, it's he's always the best thing he's in, dude. I mean,
He is.
Max is pretty badass. He's got that presence, and his little bit in that what was their reboot of the original Star Wars there? What do they call it?
No. Was it
J.J.
the last?
Abrams.
No, Force Awakens.
Yeah, The Force Awakens. That one.
His 2 minutes of screen time were great.
Yeah, it was the best thing in the damn movie.
You didn't know anything about him, but he was there.
No, I'm still, we talk about whether you like it or not and all the woke nonsense, but just in the bare bones of it, why do you think JJ decided to just completely reboot the New Hope? Because that's what he
It
did.
was
Shot for
easy.
shot, he rebooted it.
I
Why?
thought it'd be
Yeah,
easy,
Rabbit's
didn't he?
right.
That
It's
whole
easy.
member berries thing,
Yeah.
what he'd play on everyone's like emotions for the originals, because a lot of people didn't like the prequels, did they? So
No, because
he
they were
thought,
boring.
but at least they followed a story, whereas the new ones I don't even know what's going on in there.
Well, right, because they rebooted. You're right, they rebooted it. But the prequels, the real problem is it's an adult story written for kids, and that it just didn't gel. If he had made a choice, either make a kids movie or make an adult movie, it would have been fine, I think. But it was that conflict.
Yeah.
And
That's
George
true.
can't direct anything. He sucks at directing.
Yeah, he's not good at it.
That's what hurt. That's what hurt the prequels the worst.
Mhm.
It was true, but I mean, everyone knows that Empire Strikes Back's the best movie because it's got more of a serious tone to it. I feel like anyway. I mean, I suppose there's always there's a versus there, isn't there? People
And
who like
George
different
didn't
movies,
direct
so-
that one.
No,
No, he didn't. No, he
No.
didn't.
no, I would say
New Hope was good. Didn't he direct that?
subjectively, Empire Strikes Back is the best movie. Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
I still
Just
like
the
the
other one was
original
just-
best though.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
no, because it's the first one, isn't it? I suppose,
Yeah.
and it is good. I mean, I like all of them. I'm not as big a fan of the Return of the Jedi. It's got good moments in it, and it's got a lot of toy selling moments in it. But I also have friends who think it's the best. So
Well, the original Star Wars, the thing it has going for it is the pacing is perfect. I mean,
it's
it's
very,
absolutely
it's a good
perfect.
movie.
Yeah.
I think I
And-
just love the grittier tone of the Empire Strikes Back movie more.
No, it's a better flick. You're right. The interesting thing, I'm sure I've said this before, but I showed my kids when they were, old enough to get it, around 10. Like my daughter was 10, my son was 8 or 11 and 9, something like that. I sat them down and I showed them Star Wars. They were glued to the damn screen for the first 3 movies, New Hope,
Mhm.
Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. We did it over a course of a week or something like that. And then I put in the prequels, which I can't even remember the name of the damn movies.
Phantom Menace, the Sand
Phantom
one.
Menace, that one. That's about as far as we got because they walked out of the room in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that just shows you that kids can even tell when storytelling's not as fluid and
Yeah.
well written.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Shows you what might real movie.
I'm still baffled by what JJ did. I mean, all the other
He
political
can't
stuff
make
aside.
a good movie, dude. He's
No.
not the greatest at movies. I mean, my brother said, what was that TV series he did that
Lost.
about Boromir's dad from Thingy Fringe.
Lord of the Rings.
No, he did Fringe, didn't he?
Fringe. Oh.
My brother really liked that, and I've not watched it, but he said that was really good. So,
Yeah, it was all
I mean, maybe you should stick to TV because his movies suck.
Lost was pretty good too.
In that
So
end,
the
I
end?
heard a lot of bad words about that. So.
Well, because he can't end a damn story. That's one
Oh,
of
is
his
that
major
okay?
problems.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they get him back? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well, you know the problem
Star
is
Trek reboot was okay, but I mean, I'm not invested into Star Trek. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people didn't like that.
well, it was as a movie, as a standalone movie. If you know nothing about Star Trek, I'm sure it was fine.
Hmm.
You know, it was action packed, but it was literally the opposite of what the characters are. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
literally the
that's yeah.
opposite. Yeah. And
Even
that
did
was
the
a
opposite
problem.
Khan bit, didn't they, in the second one? The other one died.
Yeah, well, you had, you know, Zachary Quinto, who I love,
Hmm.
sitting there rage machining on frickin' Khan. It's just
Yeah,
it's not you've never ever watched anything or have any clue who Spock is. It's just
no.
it's outrageous. But if it's just a movie and you don't know anything about Star Trek, I'm sure they were fine.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, they got these. Like, why didn't they just do sci-fi movies with new characters? You know, they could very easily because all they have to do is follow the same idea, but just
Hmm.
have new characters, new ships, new things, and people probably love it
Which
because it's a new
which they did
IP. Then
well, they did that several times. The Next Generation is very popular. It's probably more popular than the original, to be honest with you. Voyager was very popular with people. I loved Enterprise. That's my favorite. Captain Archer's my favorite captain,
is that
actually.
Shoot,
Sam
they
Beckett?
all lasted longer than the original, didn't it?
They did, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
every
I
single one
don't
of them
know
did, yeah.
Star Trek enough. I love the old movies just because Kirk's fantastic.
Yeah, he is. But I'm
Yeah,
just saying that they did take new crews and new eras and do things
yeah,
successfully. They did do that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. My brother watched it, and some of my friends did. They're like big into the sci-fi, and they watched all of those. Like they look. I remember they always liked. Was it the space station one?
Oh, that is actually
Space
the
Nine. Yeah.
best written one, clearly. Yeah.
I don't really because I never watched it. It's never.
And
I'm
that's
not a
very
huge
different.
sci-fi person.
That's very different. You're on a space station there. You're not, you know, exploring the universe as, you know, Star Trek is based it is. But you know, they did a good job with the series overall. No matter which one you like best, the thing has legs. And then, you know, just as we see a lot these days, you have idiots like J.J. Abrams and other people come in and, you know, just kick the fandom out. It's such a weird thing. It's like, well, make what the fans like, and hopefully, if you make it well enough, you'll pick up more people, right? You know, some
Hmm.
little unknown IP that has a small fandom, okay, fine. But Star Trek? Star Wars? Are you kidding me? I mean, these are, you know, Star Wars is the biggest IP in history outside of the Bible.
I suppose a Lord of the Rings is pretty up there, though. It's that's not yeah.
Well, yes.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt, but what other comic stuff are we talking about?
Well,
I
I'm going to
just
get
jumped in
into
on
it
Just
here. We
Dread,
were
and then
just,
we're talking about sci-fi movies.
well, we were talking about what we're reading right
Oh, I
now.
see. Yeah.
And Elrod says Babylon 5 is better. Well, it got
Oh.
there. It got there. The first few seasons weren't, but in the end, it was a fun
I don't
show,
know.
for sure.
Farscape's the only one I already watched all the way through.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. I actually
Yeah,
think
that
that
was
started
good.
out season one better than Babylon did. Yeah.
I thought Farscape got better after the first couple of seasons. It wasn't bad, but it got better when they got a bit more action-packed. The characters got
Yep.
a bit more nuts.
Yeah. Stargate's
Yeah.
another good example. Yeah.
Okay, it was okay. I didn't really watch it that much. My brother loved it. Well, my brother's a big sci-fi fan, though, so
Well, I watched
I kind of watch it
everything
in the
Star
background,
Trek.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a bit of that other one where Momoa came from.
Yeah,
Was it
was that
Atlantis? Was that what it's
Atlantis?
called?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a
Uh,
bit of that, but
yeah, but
it never
I love
really. It's
those.
too sci-fi.
I mean, what's it, Eric? What was the name of the guy they? Because in the movie, which had a very different feel, they had Kurt Russell. Uh,
Stargate? Yeah, Kurt
uh,
Russell.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the movie.
and
Yeah, the
then
movie's great.
the series was different, but it was
Oh,
great.
did it have
What's
Jan
The
Michael
series was
Vincent?
MacGyver,
no,
wasn't it?
no. What's his name, dude? The guy that
Uh,
played the
MacGyver.
yeah
it's Jan
MacGyver.
Michael
Yeah,
Vincent, yeah.
no,
I don't
that's not
remember his
Jan
real
Michael
name.
Vincent is Airwolf.
Oh.
And he's a drunk. Damn it, what's his name? Someone help me out over here. Missed the beginning of the show, the end of thought says. Who is this posh wanker? His name's Rabbit.
Is that what I am?
No, clearly not. Clearly not. So as Eric goes and finds the name of the guy, because he
I'm
did
looking. Hold on.
he did a great job. Let me go over here and start sharing, and we'll get into it.
Richard Dean Anderson.
There it is, Richard Dean Anderson.
That's
He
it.
was great.
Didn't he produce it as well or something?
Probably in the
Probably
long run,
did.
maybe. Yeah, yeah. But he was not the same as Kurt Russell's character for sure. But it became something very beloved. That's for damn sure. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it today. Of course, every week I want to talk about new comic book, not new comic book characters, but comic book characters, put them in the spotlight. And because I have a couple of Hawkeye news today, I thought, well, let's talk about Hawkeye. His new series has dropped, and it's floundering quite badly. But let's talk a little bit about Clint Barton here now. I'll give these guys an opportunity to give an opinion here in a second, but Clint Barton's story is very old school comic booky in its nature, and it shows you the age of the character. Clint, he lost his parents when he was when he was quite young to a car accident. And he, of course, became an orphan, but he ran away to the circus, as you used to do in the 19th century. But and he was in a couple of circuses, and in there, he met the swordsman, and his brother went with him, and another guy called Trickshot was there as well. And the swordsman, who's a comic book Marvel villain, he taught Bart to become a trickshot archer for the purpose of making money at the circus. And he took to it really well, and he was really really good at it. He was just naturally born to be an archer. And he took up the moniker Hawkeye during his little circus tricks. And swordsmen and stuff were doing, and some of the others like Trickshot and stuff were doing bad things. And he saw it, and he tried to confront him about it, and they beat him near to death and left him. His brother left with them as well. So he's estranged from his only family. He went to a circus, I think, where they put him was a Coney Island or something like that. But during that time, he is where he ran into. He got a. He was trying to help with one thing, and he kind of got blamed for theft, which he hadn't done. So he was kind of in trouble already, and he ran into the Black Widow, and not Scarlett Johansson, the comic book one. And during that time, when he was helping her, she was, of course, doing bad things, trying to steal from Tony Stark, and he was helping her out, and she got badly wounded. He was trying to save her life. He pulled her out, and she ended up disappearing on him, which kind of broke his heart because he had fallen in love with her, of course. But he decided from that day forward that he was not going to find himself on the wrong side of the law again. He was going to be a straight shooter. Get the pun. And then that's where he went, and he ended up with the Avengers, joining them and helping them. And of course, that's when he found the love of his life, Mockingbird. And et cetera, et cetera. They've gone on and on and on. And there was a really good, what was the name of the guy that had the really good Hawkeye run not too long ago? Um, Damn it,
Shoot.
what's his name?
Is that the one they're basing the series on?
I read
Not really,
this-
no.
'cause-
They took some of the art from it. But anyway, so he's continued on for decades. The character has had staying power. I've certainly read some Hawkeye comics myself, but he's never been in my favorite pull list. He's never been on a pull list. But I've saw him more mainly when he was an Avenger, or West Coast Avenger mainly. But I know his story well from the comics, from animated series and things like that. But Hawkeye, it was an interesting choice when I saw him in the movie, and I was like, huh. Why did they put an archer with gods? But then again, why was
Yeah,
Black Widow there?
I
So
initially thought the same thing because I
yeah,
didn't know the stories.
Black Widow's there for the booty.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I
mean, let's
got
be
that.
honest.
Yeah, I got that. But nevertheless, that's Hawkeye. He's a long time character in the comic books, and they've done all kind of weird things with him. He's had nervous breakdowns and breakups and just all kinds of nonsense. They tend to throw drama at the guy for some reason, but he's been there. So Erica, what do you think? I'm pretty sure Rabbit, you don't know this character at all, right?
I know from the movies, and I watched the series so far. Yeah, that's as far as I know. Is this his original costume that you're showing now?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the
Close to it, yeah.
he's a circus
Yeah,
actor, right? Is what where
yeah.
he's coming out of.
Well, he looks a lot more like he fits in with the Avengers there than just wearing a black assassin's outfit. To be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah, fair enough. But which I understand why they put him into that, because he did get have actual training in espionage and stuff like that. He did
Yeah.
eventually get that. But Erica, what's your opinions on the Hawkeye here?
I've always liked him as a character. I didn't follow any of his solo series, but he was one of the reasons I got West Coast Avengers.
Yep.
Because I was very young when that came out, and it had a character called Hawkeye. My last name's Hawkins. A lot of people would call me Hawkeye. I
That's
liked
neat.
archery.
That's a good
But
nickname,
yeah, I've always thought he was a cool character. He's obviously a knockoff of Green Arrow.
Obviously.
I
Obviously,
was gonna mention Green
Marvel
Arrow,
wanted
yeah.
to try to get that audience, and they probably missed a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's not as popular as Green Arrow. That's fair. But
You know what I'm laughing at, though? The picture you have up there, whoever used the reference for that had the bow upside down, because that hole is where the stabilizer goes, and it's usually on below the hand.
Yeah. You're right, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Good eyes.
Yeah. No, I that's mainly where I saw him too, was West Coast Avengers, because you and I, when that came out, I think we both picked it up and read it religiously.
And it had lower tier characters that weren't as
Yeah.
popular, but it was a good book.
It worked. And instead of doing events back in the day, teams were put together for that purpose, to take a bunch of lesser characters and put them in a package that people could enjoy. West Coast Avenger was great. Now it's a joke what they did to it. It's just silly. But Hawkeye was the leader of the team, by the way, and he was sent out to create it initially. And as I've gotten older, and I've always wondered why there weren't more Avenger teams around the country and even around the world. I kind of wonder, why did Marvel not do that? And you would think these days they would certainly do that. Of course, they can't
They
get
only
away from their
focus on
politics.
America.
Well, I mean, why can't we
Generally.
have Avengers Manchester or Avengers London or something? Why
Oh,
not?
I don't disagree. I mean, I don't know about DC either, but obviously they've got I forgot his name. Yeah, I mean,
Captain Britain.
Magic guy. No, well, I don't know anything about that. I was thinking about.
Oh shoot, the guy in the trench.
I forgot his name. My brain just went. I can remember Etrigan.
Constantine.
Yes, Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine.
Because they've
Well,
got
that's
him. I don't know
DC,
if
but,
Marvel
okay.
have anything like that. Does Marvel have anything like that from other countries in their team ups? So I literally know more about everything other than Marvel.
Sunfire's from Japan. Storm's from Africa.
Yeah.
Banshee was from
Storm,
Scotland.
yeah, of course.
Scotland. He had a lot of
Oh,
Canadians.
they do. I didn't know Banshee was from Scotland.
Great Lake Adventures.
Colossus is from Russia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Crawler was from Germany.
Several German characters. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, I think they should have made a more international. I mean, that seems the natural evolution to me for Avengers International, right? And have teams set up. I mean, because one of the problems with comic books, I think, with the big companies, particularly like Marvel or DC. DC did a little bit of this, to be fair, with Batman, but you have this desire to make these events every year because you sell lots of those books when you do so. But
Plus
why?
Rabbit.
Well, why didn't they, Eric? Why didn't they progress into the natural progression? Because humans now know that super beings exist. They're jumping around and doing stuff all over the place. Wouldn't it be natural that each little town would want their own superhero to protect it? I mean, wouldn't that just naturally happen, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
think Marvel did something like that a couple of years ago with Avengers for every state or something like that.
well, like there, but that was more about making Captain America gay.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
gimmick. Now,
yeah,
okay, he had Excalibur,
yeah.
which was an X-Men book, but it was a base in Europe or Great Britain.
In Britain, which I loved, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. And Marvel did have a UK imprint,
They
which
did.
had characters specific for the UK, like Death's Head, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't that one the
Union
main
Jack.
character over
I've
there?
heard
Yeah.
of that character. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that character.
the Defenders.
But
Yeah.
but they, I mean, definitely they should have done, they could have done one in every major country in the world.
They should have.
As long as they would have had to have brought in creators from those countries, not just American creators, to write about a country they know nothing about, which is
Yeah,
what would have
right.
happened.
Especially when we had the British invasion going on and had all those
Oh,
great
yeah,
writers
yeah,
coming over from Britain.
yeah.
They to be fair, they did that a little bit with Shield. But that's more planetary instead of international.
Right.
Um, yeah, I
it's
just think it's a mistake, and who knows what the future of Marvel is. But if they ever get themselves back on track, I think they should look at the cosmology, right?
Avengers EU.
like I mean, like you're right about the getting people in to know about the country though. So I don't know if you've ever read Helsing, but
Oh yeah,
the
I
author
have.
there, he based a lot of like the police girl and stuff. It's like the English police outfit and all that, the police cars, but they used Japanese versions because they didn't know what the English looked like.
Well,
But it is
Japanese can't
supposed to be
draw
based in
foreigners
England
to save
because
their
it's
lives, dude.
Helsing.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's kind of interesting, like because they wrote it all about with England, but they didn't have any English stuff in it. It was kind of funny
Well,
when you read it, but it's the same kind of thing. Like they're on about having writers from the country involved in it.
no,
Interesting.
and it's easy to do. The comic
Well,
industry in
yeah,
Europe is huge. It's way bigger
yeah,
than
definitely.
America. There's plenty of talent you could draw from. I mean, whatever. The Hawkeye ties into this conversation because that's what they used him for, right? When they put him over the West Coast Avengers, he was the leader there. He was used to take a character that everyone knew and create something with it, and it became a lot of fun. Wonder Man is another little character they tried to do stuff with. It never stuck,
Wonder Man.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
It's a bit
Iron
of a
Man was in the
dodgy
West Coast
name.
Avengers too.
yeah, no, he did show up. Of course, keep in mind that before these movies, Iron Man was not an A-lister.
Ooh, no, not at all. He was a
He had an
drunk.
animated series though, right? There was a series of
He
Iron Man.
did,
I remember as a kid.
with the
Yeah,
I'm sure I
yeah.
Mandarin, the
remember it.
real Mandarin.
That's the only reason I'd
Mm.
ever heard of him before.
Yeah.
So I knew the Incredible Hulk. Obviously, he's like been massive since the TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the Shang-Chi movie, which I did watch, and it had some good fun action
Which was
scenes.
good. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's unfortunate that stupid boy didn't shut his damn mouth.
Yeah.
The thing is,
I know what you mean, but
yeah,
it was like a kung fu movie, like the old school kung fu movies with a
yeah,
bit of stupid in it.
yeah. But they changed the rings to bands. Okay, maybe the original owner was a
Oh, were
giant
they
or
originally
something.
supposed to be rings?
They are rings, yes, 10
Oh,
rings.
so
But
that actually makes sense why they call them fucking rings then, because I did wonder about that.
yeah, well, and of course the Mandarin is from ancient. He was ancient China, and they called him the Mandarin because he was an organizer, which is a bureaucratic term created by the Kublai Khan, by the way. He found the rings on an alien ship. It was alien technology initially, just like Wakanda
Yeah.
was alien tech, and it wasn't a comet that crashed; it was an alien ship that crashed in Africa.
Is that what it is in the movie? Because I
No,
didn't watch the after credit scene. I just
no.
remember there's something about
Well, because they don't want
alien
to take
something.
agency away from the black man for some reason, even though they do it on a daily
Yeah.
basis. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Watching the movie, I see no clue whatsoever where those rings came from. I don't know. I have no clue what they're doing with it.
Oh, I didn't
See,
know
It's
that
I
either.
suppose.
it's a magical bullshit device, Chester.
Oh,
Well, yeah, but in
That's
the
the
comic
one.
book, it was well fleshed out, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't really explain the Infinity Stones much either. They're just like, they
No.
just exist. Those just exist. Oh, okay.
oh,
Well,
yeah. And
just a plot
supposedly these
point.
rings are almost as old as the Infinity Stones. They said, but no
They
reason
did.
why.
They did.
Well, they
Yeah.
just treat the audiences as just like morons, don't they? That's the way they're written. They're written for like infants. Most of the stories, I find. I mean, there's nothing complicated about a Marvel movie.
No, and it shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It's just fun popcorn.
No, that's it. No, I agree. It shouldn't be, but you know what I mean. That's why they cut a lot of the comic stuff out, I suppose. I mean,
was
I've not
hoping-
read them, but there's normally complicated stuff involved.
I was
Yeah, well-
hoping the rings were going to be from Fing Fang Foom, and that's why they were so big, and that's why he had to put them on his forearms.
Fing Fang Foom. That's
Yeah,
the
I thought
name
so.
of the character. That's
Well,
great.
And they kind of gave us Fing Fang Boom, didn't they? Kinda.
Protector, yeah. You're like, is that Fing Fang Foom? We're not going to call him Fing Fang Foom. We're going to call
They're
him
not going to call him
Protector.
that now. For some reason, they think that's an offensive name, and I just don't
It's a
understand
great
why.
name.
Why? Yeah,
It's so
it's just
good.
like Fu Manchu. What's wrong with Fu Manchu?
Literally, those are
Yeah.
perfectly valid Chinese names. Like, I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah, I don't get it. He was just a bad guy. It's because you can't make an ethnic person a villain, I guess. But
Apparently.
Roger asked a question. He says, "Does anyone know who Ghislaine Maxwell is? I've been hearing a lot about her in the news today. Anyone? Yeah. Well, dude, she was a pedophile ringleader with a guy called Jeffrey Epstein.
She didn't die in prison yet?
No, not yet. But it should be the main news covered by everybody. But anyone? Anybody?
Crickets.
Yeah, crickets.
No, what they're going to probably do is get a guilty verdict on her and then just shuffle that all away.
Oh, yeah, no, sure. Yeah. So it's like the Waukesha murderer. His car is definitely being called out by the press. That
Oh,
damn
of course,
SUV.
We got a very bad SUV culture in America, you see,
Yeah,
and
I
they're
know.
just, they're everywhere and they're killing people on a regular basis.
It's all Stephen
Now
King
they're
on us
everywhere
here.
here.
But politics are dumb, Rabbit.
Yeah, don't get me started now.
But anyway, Hawkeye, cool character, been
Have you
around
seen
for
the
a while.
series?
Well, I'm getting into that. I'm going to get into that. So hold that.
Okay.
Of course, I
Okay.
also mentioned a little bit of Black Widow, and I will talk about her more in the future. Because the thing is, she's always been more of a villain than a hero, right?
She's been more of
I
a
thought
whore.
she was like an
Oh, well,
anti.
she's an absolute.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, but she
She
uses
dated
it.
one in the Marvel Universe.
It's one of her. It's in her repertoire. Yeah. And Mockingbird will probably never be mentioned again. Aw. All right. Moving on.
We need the Punisher. Sorry, just random thing. It winds me up that the Punisher's not been in the movie yet, killing everybody.
Well, I don't think
He's my
we'll see
favorite
it.
character.
I don't think.
No,
we'll
I
see
don't
it.
think
Yeah.
either.
But
it's a shame.
Thunder and I were talking about movies we watched recently we liked, and I mentioned Boss Level with Frank Grillo. I like Frank.
Yeah, it's a
He's
good
a good
movie.
action hero. And it's like, I don't mind the dude they had playing Punisher, although season 2 was ridiculously stupid.
He was a bit.
Why
It
is
was
Frank
fun,
Grillo
though.
not the Punisher? I mean, he's literally born to
He
be
is the Punisher. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
I don't
Did
get
you?
it.
I watched Venom as well. Actually, I watched that yesterday. The new Venom movie.
Oh yeah, and he's in the Cop Shop movie as well.
Well,
with him
Cop
and
Shop.
Gerard
Yeah,
Butler.
I watched that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
and-
movie
Oh,
as well.
why is Frank Grillo not the Punisher? What is going
He
on,
should be.
Hollywood?
He should
Punisher.
be. Yeah, he should
Oh,
be.
didn't you
He
mention
looked
it about it? But they also mentioned. No, am I? Sorry, I was thinking
Oh,
the
you're
other guy.
fine.
But
Just looks
they're on
just
about
like
Yeah.
Firehead Skull. I keep forgetting all the fucking names.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost
Ghost
Rider?
Rider. Yeah, they're on about bringing him in.
Firehead
weren't they?
Skull.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. It's been a while since. I mean, anyone probably would be better than who they got to play in the movies. But I mean, I love the movies for stupid reasons.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're the guilty pleasures for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're
but
on about
anyway.
getting the guy from the series in. But
Anyway,
think he was
let's
very
move
good.
on here. Go ahead, Thunder.
Marvel woke Hawkeye huge fail on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Duh.
They've.
I could have told you that was going to
no.
happen. That would have happened even if it wasn't woke, though. Let's be honest. It wouldn't have been as much, I don't think. But I just don't think there's meat on that bone, Disney. I like Hawkeye. I think he's a great character, but he's a great side character. He's not a great lead.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he was good in the series, but I see where you're going with it.
yeah, no, it's clearly they have to go woke with it. The first episode came out with 1.5 million people watched it or something like that. The second episode was dropped the same, yeah, at the same moment. Disney Plus
Yeah.
does like that.
Yeah, I watched them
And
both too.
the second episode was dropped like 30-40% in viewership. They
Oh,
dropped them the same
you can
day,
see.
and
Sorry.
people saw the first one and were like, nope.
Well, the queuing up, you clearly see them queuing up for him to retire. Literally with
Yeah,
the hearing aid,
obviously.
the bad knees, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's literally obvious. I mean, I still watched them both, and I liked him in it. She's not a very good actress at all. That's my opinion on her, but we'll see how that goes. I mean,
Well,
I'll watch it.
well,
I like him. I think he's fantastic. But
I only saw the first one, and I didn't
Okay.
bother watching the second one because it was just not good. But
it's about the same, to be honest.
no, but they should have made him done his Ronin run, is what they should have done.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
I would have loved to have watched that. Yeah.
But whatever. The problem with her is the same problem we see with a lot of these young actresses. They don't put the work in, right?
Yeah.
They're
They're lazy.
privileged and they don't have to. They're not forced to. Whereas, it's certainly not always been like that. Certainly not. This is a new phenomenon. And she's just not a good actress. She's bumbling. And her movement is horrible. Whereas Clint,
she's
yeah. Whereas Clint here, no, well, it's not Clint, really Clint, but I can't remember this ugly guy's name.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. But Jeremy, even though he's a midget, he puts
He's 5'9". That's not quite a midget.
bullshit.
He's definitely
He's
shorter than me.
5'3"
Yeah,
at
quite
best.
He's billed at 5'9". I bet he's closer to
He's
5'6".
the height of Bill Baggins.
Well, it's just like people telling you Denzel Washington's 6 foot. Nah, dude, that guy's 5'7" at best, 5'6", right?
Yeah, he's not that tall.
And that's okay. I don't care. But he moves well. He clearly put time in to be able to, we talked about this yesterday, Thundero. He knows how to frame a shot, right?
Yeah.
And it's night and day.
He
Night
has
and day.
charisma. She doesn't have any kind of charisma on screen either. Like,
No,
he's full of it. He's
she's
on the screen.
nobody.
He's fantastic to watch.
Literally
She's just like,
nobody.
meh.
Yeah.
But you know what you want about the work stuff? The first thing that ticks it off is when she goes to that party wearing a tuxedo.
Oh,
What was that
God,
all
yeah.
about?
And then her trying to climb
Why?
fences. Did you see that shit? Her trying to climb?
Yeah,
It's like-
I know. I'd noticed all of it. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Just do a normal show. I mean, they could still retire him to a chick doing it if they did it right, but they don't do it right. That's the problem. Because no one cares about having a female character, do we? I mean, they're good if they're done right. They
Yeah,
just
no,
don't do
they,
them
they
right
certainly
anymore.
can be. This article is also talking about how we have all the woke replacements and everything that's going on, and you can read this article if you like. I didn't because this article is so bored itself with Hawkeye
I love
Disney
it.
Plus that it just veers off and talks about all this shit.
Well, speaking of veering off and talking about other shit, back to this Frank Grillo thing real quick. I found this picture of Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler. It's like two side-by-side pictures. And my brain just says, we got Kraven and we got the Punisher.
Yep.
Why is that not a thing?
Yep.
That should have been a thing already, Marvel. What are you doing?
Yeah, no,
You don't know
you know,
what they're
and
doing.
in that film, that clip you're looking at is probably from Cop Shop, and Cop Shop
Yeah.
was fun enough. I enjoyed it, but you have Frank Grillo, Gerard Butler, the action heroes of our this current age, and you have some unknown girl, and she's basically your lead character. It didn't make sense to me. Nothing against her. I thought she was fine. I think she actually has potential in the long run. But it was weird. I mean, there's Frank Grillo, there's Gerard Butler. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, come
So
on.
easy. It could be so easy. This would be effortless roles for these guys. Effortless.
Yeah.
They could just fall right into it. It would be as good as the casting of the original Avengers. Maybe even better, in fact. And
It's what they need. Good actors makes a big difference.
And
whoever did the original casting for the Avengers, whoever was in charge of that, I have no idea who it was. I'm sure you can look it up and find out.
yeah.
But whoever was the casting director or casting agency on the project was an absolute master at what
Yeah.
at their
Well,
job.
that was back when it was Paramount, right?
It was also before all this crap that went on in the social medias.
It was before Disney, yeah, and then Disney just kind of got saddled with who they had already.
Of course, yeah. I forgot they own
But
everybody.
I agree. The casting was well done, and even though Frank is Eric and I's age, that's okay. You can you can bring him into the MCU. Say that he's been he started his whole drama started in the late '80s, early '90s, and he's just been banging around, and you have an older Punisher. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I'm still hesitant at the new Blade. To be honest with you, because why didn't they bring old Blade? Yeah, I know he is, but it's hard to look at him and not see Wesley Snipes as Blade. But yeah, I mean, will it be like Venom with Blade? Because it's more adult, isn't it? Will they actually bring him into the Marvel universe? It's like Deadpool as well. They should have their own Avengers kind of style of movies where it's all the freaking adult stuff.
Well, Blade is Marvel proper. It's not under Sony.
But it's
but I agree with you. Yeah, they should go
an
with
adult
older dark,
great.
dark universe, Marvel dark. Yeah, I agree.
Can you imagine bringing Blade, Deadpool, and all those older and Venom and stuff, all the actual adult stuff? It'd be such an interesting movie.
Mm-hmm. And
you could do a really cool movie with Kraven and Punisher against Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
A three-way battle, right? They're all Spider-Man's trying to stop both of them, and they're trying to kill each other, and he's trying to stop that from happening. Something like that. Like you can do some cool stuff with that.
Because buildings.
I'm still waiting for a good Spider-Man, though.
Yes. Right? Yeah, that would be fun. And same thing with this. They hinted clearly, and that's the frustrating thing with the Marvel movie. You can see there's people working over there who have common sense, right? Because they hint at things, and then Feige twists it into something else. Because having his daughter become the new Hawkeye makes a lot of sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to do, actually.
Yeah. But here you have this girl who they had it in the comic book. That's got to replace everything with a female, right? And she was boring as hell, and no one liked her book, and no one bought it, and they canceled it, right? Because she's a boring, useless character. She's not fun, right? But they instead of doing the daughter, they decided to do Kate Bishop. And they went out, and I think the actress looks fine, kinda. She's too short and scrunchy, no neck girl. But once again, that's because they're dealing with such a little manlet over here.
Slouches too much.
Well, no, we talked about that yesterday, Thunder Night, and he's right. They did that because she's taller than him.
Yeah, she probably is.
Thunder is definitely right. We saw that progression of shots, and I don't think the news article people put that in there, understanding what they were showing us, right? But yeah, no, that's clear.
Well, she's the girl that was in the True Grit remake.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
You good in it?
Well, she was like 10.
Oh, yeah, she was pretty young in it, but I thought she was good in that one.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, if you're a good child actor, you're normally a good actor.
Well, the original's one of the best movies ever made.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, that's great, John Wayne. But Jeff Bridges, I think it was Jeff Bridges, right? Yeah, it's Jeff. He did a good job, though, dude.
He usually does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Punisher in the comics was in his mid-40s anyway. Fair enough. That's true. He was a married man with kids. He was older. That's true. But Frank Grillo, I mean, what are you doing? It's like the obvious casting. Obvious.
Just sitting right there. It's just money.
It's the same as when you're on about Judge Dredd, though, earlier. You know, because Carl Urban was perfect as Judge Dredd, but they just don't want to carry on with him. It makes no sense. They just don't care. It just they think will make the money, and in the long run, it's just going to make them lose money because people are less interested by it, aren't they? Like this shows you know about it, with the first episode being big and then the second episode falling off
a lot.
No one's actually interested in these characters that they want to do, but the people, if they did the movies we're on about, we'd watch them.
But
and they'd be big. I feel like they'd be really big.
Yeah, but you and I watched it, so we.
Of course.
For me, it's clear to understand why people don't like it. It's her. They should have found a better actress who was serious about the role and put the work in to do it. If they had done that, it would have been fine.
Or they should have just had a Ronin series.
Yeah, no. God, God, this should have been Ronin, dude.
That would have been amazing.
No,
love
that
seeing
Bourne
Daryl,
movie
yeah.
he did shows that Jeremy Renner
Yeah,
can do that shit, dude.
He would
He's
have
a
been
good actor.
fantastic.
I like him.
at it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner too. I think Chester's right. He is a little bit ugly, but so what?
Yeah,
Well,
a
that's
lot of great
American.
actors are ugly.
Well, yeah,
can be-
he doesn't have to be pretty, does he?
He's full of
No,
charisma.
especially
That's
not to be
what's-
Ronan. In fact, I would rather him be ugly. I think it fits him a little better.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a
And they
violent
hinted-
sociopath, isn't he? In that?
Well, and they hinted at it again. Once again, they hinted at it, right?
He did. He did.
So, I don't know, but this is just another fail because you didn't get a serious actress. And it's just the way it is. And like I said, I don't, in no way do I want that comment to be anti-female, because it's not. This is a modern
Okay.
phenomenon. There's plenty of women bust their ass in the past to do a role. Plenty. It's a new thing. The guys have to
Oh.
compete against each other fairly. That's why they put all the hard work in, because they have no choice. They have to. The girls are getting a pass. They don't have to do anything as long as they fit whatever mold the casting director wants. But
Mhm.
this is just a shocking failure.
Well, go
Elrod
back to
says
like
she's a good actress. Apparently,
Go back to, like, probably is. Go back to like 40s or 50s or whatever, and those actresses, how talented they were at everything. Most of them,
Yeah,
like they could do anything.
yeah.
They could act, they could sing, they could dance.
Triple threat.
I think they had to.
These
didn't they,
ones, these ones are a joke. Like there's,
man? You
I
just have
can't
to have
remember
a
what it's
social
called.
media following.
Pretty much, I can't remember what the movie's called, but there's a movie out there that is a musical with what the hell's her name? The Emma Stone chick's in it, and she cannot sing.
La La
It's,
Land.
that might be it, and
Oh, God,
she's
did
just
he use auto-tune in it?
horrible.
It's so horrible.
A
when they do that
horrible
with
singer.
So many things.
Yeah. Well, it's like putting Emma. God damn it! I can never remember the Harry Potter girl.
Emma Watson.
Emma
He
Watson.
just said it. Literally, just said it.
No, he said Emma Stone. And Emma Stone's
sorry.
actually not a bad actress. But she can do the job. But Emma Watson, they put her as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. That girl literally cannot sing at all. And it's like, all right, why don't you go? There's plenty of actresses who can. If you're making a musical, why don't you go hire one of them?
Yeah, her and Ryan Gosling are in that, and there's this scene. My wife was watching it, and I wasn't really watching it. I don't remember. I think I was cooking or something, and she had it on, and they started singing and doing this dance number, and it was just terrible. It was horrible. It was lower than like high school level musicals. Like it was terrible, terrible. They should have been ashamed that was put to film. Ashamed.
Well, I'm
that
really
bad?
lucky, Thundero,
Yeah.
because my
She
wife.
shut it off.
Yeah,
She's like, no,
well, that's good.
enough of
but
that.
My wife hates musicals. She doesn't understand why people start singing in the middle of the street. So I'm saved by that.
I don't even like the Jungle Book. Does she not even like that? That would be sad if she didn't like the Jungle
My
Book.
wife doesn't like musicals at all. She doesn't get it.
Oh,
Oh,
That's sad.
none of
I,
those are
uh,
Disney movies?
She
My
doesn't.
cousin's
Jungle
like that.
Book
She
and
hates-
Robin Hood
she
is
hates-
so good. I don't like that.
My
rooster
cousin's the
singing
same
that
way.
song.
Megan Fox was the death of Hollywood. Yeah, but she was straight up fuckable, Elrod.
She was hot, but she was in
Except
all the
for her
terrible
toe
movies.
thumbs.
Toe thumbs.
Listen,
Did she have
if
toe
you're gonna
thumbs?
Toe
kick a
thumbs.
chick out of bed because her thumbs are weird, this says more about you than it does
I
everybody.
think so, dude.
Depends where she wants to put that thumb.
No, that girl, she can't act worth shit. That girl cannot act, but she is
Yeah,
drop
dear
dead, dude. I mean,
She's not
really.
anymore, but she was. Yeah,
Well, everyone
She's,
gets older. It's okay.
plastic surgery.
Yeah,
has
I don't
done
know
a
why they do
number.
that,
Plastic
man.
surgery ruins people.
Anyway, let's continue with this Hawkeye theme here, because here's another article about Hawkeye, which I think is more apropos for our conversation here regarding comic books. Go ahead.
Artist David Aja, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Wants Marvel to stop crediting and start paying for comic book adaptations like Disney's Hawkeye. Now, wait a minute. Is Mr. Aja, is he saying that Marvel is Disney is not, in fact, paying people for the things they've created?
That's
Or-
the point. No, that's the point.
Or is he whining that because he was just happened to be working on it, he's not getting paid for it, even
No,
though
he didn't get paid.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's that
that's
age-old don't pay the artist bullshit.
yes. Now Matt Fraction, there it is. Damn it. That was it, Eric. Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run was pretty good, actually. And I didn't mind it. It had some nonsense in it, but overall I liked it. What they were doing with him, and that's what they based the movie on. Particularly this cover art here that they use for the show is from that artist. Now the
I don't know,
artist.
man. I think I got to side with Disney on this one. They don't own those characters. They didn't create them. They just did an iteration.
Yeah, but
But
I
you should
don't.
still
no.
I don't
get
think Disney owes them shit.
compensation for if they're taking their work and turning it into something.
They're not though.
Otherwise,
They're
it's
taking their
basically-
work and turning it into something. They made it for them. They made it on contract for them. They don't own that shit. Now,
I
if it was
suppose
their
they made it
own
on-
their own stuff, right? Their
Did
own
they make
original
it on
stuff.
Marvel or Disney? I suppose. I don't know.
Well,
I
Marvel,
suppose
but-
it depends on when their contract was done, I guess.
Well, now
Really?
here's the now I get your take on that, Thundera, but here's the thing. Way back when I was actually watching Ethan's shows, he would just get box deliveries of things and checks in the mail, and he was nonchalant
Mhm.
about it, but he get money when they use his creations, which he has many of, in
Yep.
movies. And why, and what this guy is saying, writers get money, right?
Mhm.
If you wrote this, Matt Fraction got money because they did use some of his ideas in the creation of this story. Why doesn't he's part of the team that created this storyline, and why shouldn't he get money too? We've seen Ethan get money. Now, to be fair,
Yeah, but
Ethan created the
Ethan
character.
only
created the character.
right.
Yeah.
That's why he gets the money. He owns
Some people don't,
somewhat
though.
owns the rights to the character.
I remember Mike saying because he was part of the creative team that made what's the character, the dead Nighthawk. Is it Nighthawk? Robin's alter ego. I forgot his name.
Nightwing.
The Injustice movie.
Mm-hmm.
DC movie. Mike was part of the. He wrote a lot. He did a lot of the artwork on that and created part of the character, the dead version of the character when he comes back from life. But he didn't get any kind of compensation or even credits on the animated movie when they did it recently. I remember talking to him about it.
And one of the things is that they brought Matt Fraction in as a consulting producer, which means they took some of his idea of his run and put it in the show. So they brought him in to, they probably just, I don't even know if they talked to him. They just put his name in
That's
there.
why he got paid right there, probably.
Yeah.
Because
But
they credited him.
the thing is, though, I understand your take on a Thundero, but I don't know. I kind of feel like artists get thrown under the bus when it comes to that, where writers never do.
Well, the artist doesn't if they actually had a hand in creating the character that's being used.
No, that's true.
We can't,
That's true.
that's why Ethan gets paid, because he actually created it, like Atrocitus, or he helped create Atrocitus. He designed Atrocitus directly.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff,
and-
actually. Yeah.
A bunch of them, a bunch of the Lanterns especially. And that's why he gets paid for that. Now that, I agree with. Yeah, absolutely. That's his original idea, his original thing. That's the way the law is. I don't think I can't agree that you worked on somebody else's intellectual property and you should get paid royalties for that. I just don't agree with that. Like,
Fair.
they agreed to sign on contract work, I'm sure, or on some form of contract, that they would work on this book or whatever book they gave them to work on, and that they would waive rights to royalties. I'm sure that, I guarantee you that was in the thing they signed.
It's probably true.
So I
Probably
just
true.
I don't see the argument. It just sounds like entitlement to me, to be honest.
You know what? When you actually say it like that, it makes sense. It's like if the only way I can describe it is if I hired a session bassist to play on my album, he's just there paying him for that, not the album, so he shouldn't get royalties. And you're right, that does make sense the way you describe it.
Now, if it was, like, say he was the one who created Kate Bishop, yeah, he should get paid for Kate Bishop's appearance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that would be
they
different.
aren't. Yeah, but and to be fair, I can't recommend Matt Fraction's run. I can't because it's bullshit. But it is.
But you enjoyed it.
It's so well written, dude. And I like the artistic style they did in it too. I think they had a panel or two down here. I was just looking at. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, here. It's not I usually likes the really high end art, but I thought the art in this was pretty good, and the writing is excellent. It's well done.
Who
The
the
story is well
hell
done.
did this?
But I kind of
12-year-old
liked
did it.
it
Jesus Christ!
It
People got
flows
paid
well.
That's the guy complaining. That's the guy complaining for not getting any money. It's that
Fuck you
aha
get?
guy.
Why
have
am
to
I
say-
getting paid more money?
that the two gentlemen sitting in here that are artistes are far more talented than that. Holy cow!
That just sucks so bad.
It
No,
is. It's bad.
I think he just shot his own case right here with this art.
Yeah.
If you pay me, I could go to art school.
Yeah, maybe he fucking needs to go to art school.
I don't know, because I did read a whole bunch of this run, and I get what you're saying about the art, but it works though. It does work. It really does. But whatever. I understand that, and you guys know more than I do about it. But yeah, but I
like,
can't. My point is, I can't recommend you read it. You shouldn't read it. But
No.
Matt Fraction
It's good.
is a writer, though.
No, Matt Fraction actually is a decent writer.
They're saying the
He's not
writing
bad.
was good.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah.
The art sucks.
But
No,
anyway,
I will agree that it's kind of shitty for them to basically just whole cloth copy a whole style like they did here. But
Well,
at
they
the
took
same
his cover.
time, I mean, it's Disney. It's Marvel. Like, what are you expecting, homie? You're working for the evil mouse. That's what you're gonna get.
and besides,
Simple
they can
as
say it's an homage.
Yeah.
And it's done, right? They win. Yeah.
They'll say, no, look, he's facing the other way because for some reason our Hawkeye is the other-handed from the one from the book.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all they got to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is left-handed.
Right.
Isn't he? But Jeremy Renner's not. Okay. Compensations need to be made, or that's not the word I wanted. What's the word I wanted, Eric?
I'm looking at the chick fiddling herself.
Yeah, no, she's a very poor choice, dude. Very poor choice.
Well, Kate Bishop's a very poor choice. What do you expect?
Yeah.
The whole
But
character's a poor choice.
anyway, Hawkeye. Even Hawkeye can't escape the bullshit of Disney.
Hawkeye wearing blue jeans?
It kind of
I think
looks
it's
like
just
it,
a
doesn't it?
shadow
Yeah,
colour.
it
They're
kinda
purple
does.
jeans, I think.
Yeah,
Purple.
jeans.
They look like
Purple
purple.
jeans. Oh my gosh.
But once again, we were talking about framing, and Jeremy Renner, even though he's a little teeny guy, he knows how to frame a shot. This guy, he really does. Look at her body language here. I know what they're going for, but it looks awkward. It's not right. What's
Looks
wrong with
uncomfortable.
And
this?
the
Someone
dog's
help me.
almost half his size as well.
She looks uncomfortable. He doesn't.
Yeah, well,
That's
they
what's wrong with
have to make her shorter, dude, because she's taller than him. But
They weren't photographed together.
probably
that's
they
just-
weren't.
that's-
You're right.
Not at all. I mean, even look at their
Concept
feet.
art
Their
edited
feet are
together.
different angles.
And they
There's
did-
no way.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what is this? Because we do have two artists in here. What is it about her body, her stance, that's wrong? Because something's wrong. It doesn't look right. And I understand what they're going for. It could be cool. We've seen many, especially like an elf lady hero standing like this or something, and it looks cool. But this doesn't look cool. What's wrong with it? What's
I
wrong?
think it's offset by the composition with the dog being over there. It's kind of
it does
weighing
look a
too
bit
heavy
weird.
on that side of the picture.
So it's the dog's
It's
fault.
just-
You see that?
It's
Thunder?
the
Well,
dog's
I
fault.
think
Well,
it's
Blaming the
also
dog.
it just
even
looks weird.
she looks uncomfortable. She doesn't look comfortable in that position, and he does.
He looks very
He looks
stiff as well.
confident.
You know what I mean? There's no movement in it. Where he
Yeah.
looks cool holding.
I
a
don't
bow.
think she could
just
go
looks like
lower
she's
than that.
Posing with a bow.
I don't think she's in good enough shape to actually hit that position at a full drop, like a full
Yeah.
squat.
Maybe
She looks
that's
like
the
a stock
problem.
photo, I think, if you know what I mean. Whereas,
Yeah.
but then again, this is concept art. People just put it together, so you never know.
Her torso
That's even
isn't
her.
flexible enough for this position. Yeah, there it is. Her torso's too upright for the way her legs are. And you're right. She's probably was uncomfortable because she's not fit. Which is weird.
They should be back to back.
They
Yeah,
should
no,
be
that
back
would have
to
been a
back.
better shot, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
But then again,
Why is
she
the
would be
dog there?
taller.
It's curious. Is the dog an actual integral part to the story, or is it just there to look cool?
Not
Oh, there's a dog in a
yet.
Santa hat.
Maybe he's just Christmassy. He's Christmas dog.
Yeah, the whole thing is taking place at Christmas. Yeah.
Dog's
know,
in
I
the
know.
book, right?
Is it okay?
I think the dog's in the book. Chester, you have to
Yeah,
correct
yeah,
me
the
there. I haven't
dog's in
read
the
the book,
book.
but I've heard
Yes,
that. Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes, it is. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna move on from Hawkeye. But
Hey,
what a
Hawkeye.
shame, man. Because this girl, she's given an opportunity, right? You've been cast. You're going to be in a Disney thing, which could be awesome for your career. Why wouldn't you get out there and just bust your ass and practicing the bow, running obstacle courses, just busting your butt to become the best Kate Bishop you can be? I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
The sad thing is, Brie Larson, who everybody, shits on, rightfully so, has actually been doing that. She's been putting in the work in the time between her movies. I don't know what kind of shape she's in now. She's probably still skinny as a rail, but at least she has tons and tons of videos of her working out and stuff where she's working with physical trainers and trying to get herself more fit for
She
the
changed her
movies.
attitude though.
She
I have
has
no idea.
changed her attitude quite a bit. I think she realized she was being a bitch, and she's trying to back it up a bit.
The thing is, I mean, she could do a good job if she tried.
She could, yeah.
Yeah, if she
Another
put
good.
it in the work, I think she'd be fine.
Well, a good example of a lady who puts the work in is Katie Sackhoff.
Yes.
Now she's older
Absolutely.
though. I mean, but she puts the work in hardcore for every role she does. And I'm not the biggest Katie Sackhoff fan, but I appreciate her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on. But sad, man.
What's next?
Sad. Oh my God, train wreck
Marvel's
incoming.
Marvel's X-Men Green Arc sees Nature Girl murder store clerk over piece of litter and escape punishment.
All right.
What the fuck?
No,
that's a fucking headline.
and it's accurate. Let
Jesus
me
Christ.
tell you about this comic book because I did look at this comic book. Okay. And here's the deal. Some idiot over at Marvel thought it would be good to, be a nature global warming activist. And the only way that we can really solve the global warming problem is to murder all the white people, you see.
Yeah, obviously.
And I'm not kidding. This is not hyperbole. She literally kills people over a piece of litter she finds on the road, and she's like, "No, it's enough." And she goes and she's surrounded by villains. Oh, it gets worse. Let me finish.
I'm sorry, but it's already worse.
She kills a lot of people. The whole time that she's killing people over on Krakoa, where the X-Men are now, they're living on the island of Krakoa, right? And Krakoa is a living entity, right? The X-Men Council are sitting there debating, well, we should probably do something. It kind of looks bad. I mean, are you shitting me?
We'll just go shoot her in the head. Jesus Christ.
But it's like, they're not concerned with this person murdering people, innocent people that have done nothing, right? Because literally innocent people, and white people particularly. But they're more concerned about the PR, the image, right?
This is a published thing.
Yes, it is, and it gets worse. It's not. I'm not done. She's surrounded by other villainous people, and they are captured by the X-Men and brought back for judgment. And they judge that okay, well, this person needs to be locked up. We got to do something about it. But Krakoa, the island itself, basically steps in secret with one of the other X-Men, and not only releases them to go back into the world, continuing their destruction, but gives them weapons to do it better.
How is that not a villain?
It is a villain. But that's what the X-Men Green is all about.
Is that where the wrenches coming out of her head came from?
Well,
I did wonder what that was.
I think if I remember, it was Krakoa empowered them or something like that, because she didn't look like this in the very beginning of the story.
So she's supposed to be a good guy, though.
No, well, I mean, obviously she's a hero because it's the X-Men Green is going to be all about her murdering innocent white people. So that's what this is. This is what Marvel decided was a good thing to put out. It's not.
I'm glad I read manga.
It's not any kind of actual activism. It's just murder the bad white man, because that's how you solve it, right?
It's hard to take that as a serious thing. I can't believe that's a serious thing.
No, they're not, Roger. You're right. Which is why this nonsense is so
they don't.
forced.
I don't understand. Even Batman don't freaking kill people.
She is the avenging X-Men. Yes, that's what she is.
Oh
People wonder
boy.
why manga's the big thing.
Yeah, well, because they're telling fun stories, not politics, because this is pure politics.
Yeah, that's
right?
it. It is 100% politics, but it's the wrong kind of politics as well. They're
Well,
not making the right kind of message either.
No, I guess she had hair. I guess that's what the difference was. Sorry, but she literally found a piece of litter, and it had the name of this store on it. So she came to the store, put it in this guy's face, and of course, all the white folk
Oh my God.
are absolute assholes. They're just unnaturally assholish and mean. And of course, she stabs him in the neck and kills his ass because that's what you do. And it's not just him. She goes on a reign of terror here.
What's with the bear in the background?
Well, Wolverine.
It's kind of
right?
funny, actually. I kind of like the bear in the background fighting. That's kind of funny.
And she's just an
What the
insufferable, horrible thing. And of course, to try to minimize it, all the white folk that all these white folk working at the oil refinery that she goes to destroy with her evil friends. Of course, they are instantly, oh, we gotta kick these activists. Let's go beat them with wrenches. It's so stupid. It's so stupid, right? Just to try to actualize her, to justify
Who designed
her.
this character?
Eric.
What the fuck is coming out of her head? I'm sorry, I can't get over that. It just looks so
I
stupid.
think they're supposed to be antlers of some
They are supposed to be
sort,
antlers. She's
but
nature girl.
I liked it when you said spanners because that's what it looks like. Spanner red. Not spanners for brains. I don't. Fuck Jesus Christ.
Eric, any comments?
I can't. This is why I buy the independent comics nowadays. I try to stay away from Marvel and DC as much as I can. I do pick up Moon Knight, but that's about it, man. I go for my regular stuff because all this stuff's way too out there.
Yeah.
So the coloring on this looks terrible.
No, it doesn't look great. And this little thing, I can't remember its name, but it's murderous
The
too.
dog
Literally
doesn't
using
even
a
match.
multiply
Look at the
layer with
dog.
gray on it.
Yeah, it's a matte, isn't it? You're right. Yeah, that's so lazy ass art here. But there it goes. And they end the comic book with her and her little team about to go murder a city with
Why
a
does she have a maker's
superpowered
staff?
scepter.
Oh, it's a scepter. It's not like Gandalf's staff. That's what it looks like. Hey, I could have gone the entire year without knowing this comic existed.
Yeah, I do notice that Thundero's being very quiet.
I have no words for Pippi Longstocking here and her horrible friends. Marvel at this point, they're just evil. I don't know what else to call it. Like, how could you possibly promote this as anything other than a villain? In fact, I know for a fact that they've promoted this pretty much exactly as a villain multiple times in comic books.
Yeah.
This exact character with this exact kind of overreaction and murderous rage towards human life. And yet, for some reason here, it's now a hero because climate change, which, by the way, even the most realistic prediction, will probably only raise the temperature of the whole planet by like 1, maybe 2 degrees Celsius in 100 years.
It's actually less than that.
Yeah, and
and that's being extremely generous with the data.
Yeah.
What are we so scared of, guys? How about we calm down?
Yeah.
But we calm down.
But do take note that some executive over at Marvel said, well, okay, you can do it, but we got to make sure we protect the X-Men themselves by having them convict you for your crime. So they did kind of put a bubble of protection around the X-Men there. Someone did that. They saw that this was inappropriate. Jeff Potts says Katie Sackhoff was awesome in Riddick, especially when you go balls deep with her. Yeah.
I just don't know who was drawing this character and was like, those old gag arrow through the head things you can wear.
Can't get over it.
I think we need that here. This is what we need. Let's get that on there.
They literally went character design and went with the first idea. Didn't even come up with others.
Well, the good thing is
that one arrow for the head.
I have an idea for a new Punisher book. But anyway, it's just outrageously stupid as usual. I mean, you're Marvel exec, and you allow an Antifa terrorist to write your book. I mean, okay,
And look at this
all
thing.
right.
What an absolutely hideous design.
Mhm.
Just hideous.
And
There's nothing appealing about that. Nothing. To
no,
nobody.
and you see where they end up with her, right? But if you look during the thing, they actually, other than the horns in the head, they actually give her a little femininity, right, in the beginning, right? But you can't keep that. You can't have that, right?
No
Um,
boobs, though. No boobs are allowed. Boobs
well,
don't exist
Oh, they're
in their
hiding them
world.
with the jacket, I
yeah, they
guess.
are.
Baggy clothes.
But
No
That's how they
boobs.
do it, isn't it?
but they of course end up like this, which is what they wanted from the second one. But whatever, it's just not a hero. Now, if you have an arc where she ends up getting taken out because she's an evil, horrible villain, that could be fun.
I
And it's
agree.
not like Kratos hasn't done messed up stuff before, right?
That's why I like the boys, because they take out these bastards all the time.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about the show. The comic book was awesome.
Just, I don't understand those antlers. What are those antlers supposed to be?
No, look at this picture.
Nature.
This picture specifically, right? Where are they even coming from on that picture? 'Cause the
Nothing
one
in
that side's
nature.
coming from the back of her head. That one's coming from a different place. I don't understand who drew this.
Yeah, first of all, yeah, their perspective is way wrong. Look at that. It's
Well,
off.
you're right. The right side antler should be at a different angle.
It makes no sense. It should be coming out like from just in front of that ear a little bit. I don't understand it.
Literally no creature in the world that I've ever seen has antlers like that. So what are these supposed to be? Like all the other X-Men bestial creature human things typically have something in common with an actual, animal that exists. Not so much here. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Well, she kills someone with the antler in the comic, by the way.
It's not an antler. It can't be.
Does she do a helicopter spin?
She twists
That's
her
what I'm
head
thinking.
and catches him in the
Spinning
throat.
around. She could probably fly. It's like Inspector Gadget's head helicopter.
Oh.
Anyway, there you go. If you want to read
Thanks. I hate it.
Green, go for it. Have fun. Have
I
fun.
don't at all.
No.
Let's go to something that is fun. However,
hang on, I'm popcorn. Seven Seas nabs license to produce English
Tokyo
language
Revengers.
Tokyo Revengers manga.
Yeah, it's a good series. It's fun.
now, Rabbit, if you could give us a quick little summary what it is, because I don't know this. However, what I do know is every damn kid in my school loves it.
I've
love
not
this.
really watched the whole thing, so I can't really say. It's probably best you read it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Manga.
Because I might ruin it. I know bits about it, but that would ruin the story, so I don't really want to go into certain things.
Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers, the official description states Hanagaki was once a low-life punk, chimpira, okay. But after biting off more than he could chew with a gang in middle school, he ran away from his old life. Yeah, that doesn't exist in Japan. All right. Now that he's an adult, the gang that once terrorized him has grown into the largest gang in Tokyo. And they've started killing people, including his old girlfriend. Uh-oh, dun dun dun. At least they're not kids. At least they grew him up. After learning this news, a mysterious force on a train platform shoves Takemichi right in front of an approaching train. As his life flashes before his eyes, he blinks to find himself transported back to middle school. Oh, God, there it is. Before he fled from the gang, it continues. The description concludes, now he has the chance to right what went wrong all those years ago. Can he save his girlfriend's life in the future? And what else might he change if he's rewriting the past?
It's pretty brutal. And there's more to it than that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But that's the thing. The kids in my school adore this. This is what they're all reading right now. Junior high up, the little ones don't talk about it. They talk about Demon Blade. But
Slayer.
This is, well, that's not really what the name means though. Kimetsu no Yaiba means
I know, but that's what everyone knows it as.
Anyway, this is very popular over here. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I should take a look at it. But it's getting an English anime release. Now, here's the thing, though, Rabbit. My daughter used to watch was it Crunchyroll or Funimation or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't watch any of that
Um,
bullshit.
but they would have the anime like the day after, right?
I do, I get it, but I
Yeah,
watch fan subs.
right. Well, but I'm just wondering. I guess that what they're talking about here is actually putting it in
They'll be
English
dubbing it.
dubbed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll be dubbing it, yeah, because you
yeah,
can get English sub like the day after, or if it's the day it's released in Japan, the next day straight
yeah,
out
yeah.
every single time. So I get One Piece every Sunday, well, a Saturday night technically, to
That's wrapping
watch.
up, by the way.
So,
Yeah,
oh well, episode 1001 just happened. So, but you mean the manga? I'm assuming
yeah. The manga's wrapping up. Yeah.
it's
Um,
about fucking time.
it is. It took them long enough, didn't it? But anyway, some good news, I guess, for manga lovers. Because like I said, this is
if
mega
they
popular here. So
if they dub it correctly, people will love it. As long as it depends who's dubbing it, because Funimation have a habit of ruining dubs,
well, they're owned
putting their
by
own things
Crunchyroll
into
now,
it.
right? Didn't Crunchyroll buy Funimation?
I don't know. I mean, I say I avoid them like the play. I don't watch dubs. I only ever watch sub stuff by fan subs who it's more accurate
Right.
that way. But I mean, I've watched some dubs occasionally just to see what they're like nowadays. I'm like, but that's not what the story is. They kind of change things. Not always. Like I say, it depends. I've known that Funimation have literally put their own politics into dubs sometimes and changed
Right.
the story,
Well,
which is kind of terrifying.
sometimes I do watch stuff that has subtitles, and even the subtitling isn't correct often.
No, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not, but well, it depends who subs it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that world, really. Although one of my students does the subtitling for Hollywood movies when they come to Japan, and I help him with that because slang and dialect can be difficult to translate. So I
Yeah,
actually
because
assist
the
with
way
that.
Japanese speaks very different, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But it's a cool to because I'm getting paid to do it, which is nice. But it's also neat because I get to see these scripts and the before the movie comes out anywhere, right? Because they do all that before. So there's several movies that I've been able to kind of see what the whole deal was. Some of them, unfortunately, Antebellum was one of the ones I translated for the Japanese release. Well, I helped him translate for the Japanese release, and that was horrible. That was
Know
really
it.
bad. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I just thought it'd be fun.
I hope this is good because I think people enjoy it. I feel like most anime fans, America and the world over, would have already watched it because that's what we do. Fan, you'll have already found a way to watch it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's nice if all the people that aren't like the big fans watch it because I think that's the only way to get like the good storytelling back out there from other countries because a lot of people don't like reading subtitles. Even I have friends that don't like reading subtitles; they'll only ever watch it dubbed.
Well, there's no
But it's
politics
nice to
here
get
in
it back.
Japan. That's for
I
damn sure.
know, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But Eric, do you read manga at all?
Not at all.
No. Yeah.
You should start.
It's become quite popular. The only problem I really have with manga and therefore the anime that comes out of it in general is it's always children. It's always children. So you saw how I was
That's not entirely true.
most of
You're
the
not.
time
You're
it's
half
children.
right.
I'm
Newer
more than
stuff
half
definitely
right.
more than older stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. But I mean, I know a lot of stuff that's based on more adult stuff as well.
There are some
But,
things.
but
Golgo
they are
13 is a good
older
example,
things.
right?
There's,
But in
there's stuff
general,
which are based on adult characters.
and I
Even
understand that
Cowboy
it
Bebop.
isn't. Well, it's an Asian trope. I get it. It's cultural. I understand it.
The
But
shonen thing is a big deal because shonen Jump obviously is massive, isn't it?
right,
You
but
get a
it's
lot of the
deeper
shonen
than
stuff. So
that.
there's
It goes into the tradition of the cultures of Asia themselves. If you look at all the old little folk tales and stories over here, it's always a kid that's going out, and some old grandpa helps them out, right?
yeah. I mean, I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
Then again, the first anime I ever watched was Fist of the North Star, and that's not about a kid.
No, it's not. There are examples, but in general, the high
Well,
school.
old anime, the older stuff was much more mature. Had much
Sure,
more
yeah.
older characters and things. Then
What's
this
it get
modern
back to?
stuff, or at least the really famous stuff, the really popular stuff, is pretty much all about
Yeah.
teenagers or young adults.
Yeah.
there's the occasional few like Psychopaths that was more based on adult stuff. Yeah, that was really good. There's a few. You're right. It is mainly kids. I get that, but
and it's one of the reasons I just don't get into it as much. When I was younger, I did, but now as I've gotten older, I don't know. I just don't. It has to be a very compelling story.
I think you have to be picky.
Yeah. Well, there's also just so much of it now.
God, yeah, there is.
There's just no time to keep up with all of it, and some of them, like One Piece, it's just, I mean, my God, it's a religion at this point.
I only watch it now because I'm where I am. I watched when he got to episode 1000, like, well, I got to carry on, haven't you? You've been watching it for so fucking long.
Well, and the machine, the manga and animation machines here in Japan are kind of interesting because those factories, which is really what they are, they have a lot of illustrators and animators, lots of people working because they get paid very little. It's not a high-paying job. Yeah. But there's just thousands and thousands of them. It's different than in the West, where we can name well-known writers off top of our head, and artists as well. Japan is very different in that.
Some strike out in Japan though. Surely.
Some do, and they
Masamune Shirow, everyone knows him, and Akira Toriyama, right?
Well,
they're all
like
big names.
Wakui
I'm
here
sure.
is an example of that. But what he is he's a team head now. Well, the animation, he's probably the team head. Some of the manga does come out from an individual. That is true. But particularly with the anime, these are enormous teams, and then the head person of that will become famous. But all the people who do 90% of the work, right? They don't get mentioned at all. And I mean, some of these.
Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say I remember watching the making of Akira because Katsuhiro Otomo obviously was involved.
Yeah.
In the nightmarish things that he wanted them to do, but yeah, he never mentioned. Actually, all I know is his name. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The animation and the movie's amazing, but it wasn't him that made it.
And juxtaposed to that would be Ghost in the Shell. That guy was way hands-on in the creation of that. But whatever. I'm not knocking on it. I think it's good. And like I said, it's very popular. So I'm sure the Western audience will like it. Anyway, let's move on here.
That was a sigh of like, oh, fuck.
DC Comics and Warner Media teaming with Biden administration to promote COVID shots for children.
I'm gonna go take a piss. Enjoy.
Why do we have to leave the children alone, Joe?
He's incapable.
Children, though.
I mean, there's no reason. Of course, we had Big Bird doing the same thing, but it's like there's no need for children to get the poke. There's no need at all. And of course, we looked at this before, this right here. But they're doing hospital runs and things like that now as well. They're really pushing it. But it's like, it's unnecessary. We don't have to give children the shot. You go read this article if you like. It goes in depth in their opinion here. But it's a general concept. There's no need for it. If it was like polio or something like that, and we had an actual vaccine, okay, sure. But this vaccine is going to do nothing for them. One, we know that's true. Two, they don't need it. And if you have a kid who's in the cancer ward or something like that, which I know all too well about, well, fine, give them a shot. But otherwise, there's no need.
The vast majority of people under 40 have no need for these shots.
No.
Their chance of getting even sick of any significant amount is extremely low. Extremely low. And having any kind of complications from that is even lower. And death is, I mean, you're more likely to die driving your car by a factor of double in most cases.
I'd say Eric's probably safe, though.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why.
Where I had it.
Oh, I don't know why. I have this image of driving Miss Daisy when I think of Eric.
What
does that even mean?
It's just nonsense. It's really all it is The people who regulate our medical industry are controlled by the people who profit off of it. And
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's why this is happening.
it's pretty
No other
sad.
reason. It has nothing to do with science. Has nothing to do with medicine. Has nothing to do with health. Has to do with money.
Yep, unfortunately. Any retort there, Eric?
Nope.
Fair. Moving on. I just put this up here because obviously this is stupid. Obviously. Now here, let's have some happy news here. Let's go ahead.
John Krasinski reveals Superman in DC League of Super Pets. Wait, what?
Now this
So
trailer's
is he
awesome.
being Superman?
The trailer is awesome.
Very
Always have the
confused.
dog.
It's about crypto and other
Yeah, I was saying
pets
crypto.
get superfied. And Superman
Oh, really?
is kind of in it, but he's not the main character. It's about crypto. The trailer looked great. It looked like classic old excuse me, old-fashioned Pixar. Just fun. Just
This what it's
fun.
called, DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah.
'Cause I've not seen the trailer. I'll have a look for it.
It's a long one.
It's
Eric,
really cute. Yeah.
you know, Eric was looking at it after I mentioned it, but God damn it. Hold on a second.
You gonna make it
He's
over there,
got
bud?
the COVID.
Smoke another one, Chester.
Actually, it was more
So he's smoking.
the water than the
The
cigarette.
Japanese.
But anyway, I know you guys are gonna yell at me again, but I have my fingers crossed for this, man. It looks good, old classic fun, man. Good Pixar fun.
Look
Man.
like need to watch it. If it's got that Pixar vibe and that childish enjoy, because I don't like all their movies, but they have the fun.
Yeah, because
If it doesn't
also
have the
will have
politics,
little-
it's just about a flying dog doing stupid shit with all of his other super animals. I can see that being fun, especially for kids.
Sure, but it also has the reason I say Pixar in particular is because it has that little touch of adult humor, like the old Looney Tunes as well.
Yeah,
Like
well, that's
you have,
what you need. You need
Yeah.
both, yeah.
It has that, and that's
does
what
look like
makes me
Pixar.
interested in it. Because if it was just a little kiddie thing, well, fine. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they'll like it. But this is done in the more the Looney Tunes spirit, where it's for kids, but the parents can watch it along with them. Kevin Hart here is playing this boxer, and
Awesome. I like Kevin Hart.
Yeah, and he's kind of perfect for it, and he's
So
a dumbass.
The Rock is playing crypto. Is that what that said?
I don't know who's playing crypto.
Yeah, go back up. Up, 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 up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up.
I'm reading
Oh.
here. I don't
Go up to the
recognize.
tweet. He says it in the tweet. Always wanted to do a buddy movie with at The Rock. Well, these are the roles we were born to play. FYI, DJ's the one with the tongue.
Ah,
Krasinski is Superman, and it looks like The Rock is playing crypto.
cool. Awesome. That's awesome. And he and Kevin Hart have great chemistry as well. This looks good. Go check out the trailer,
It does. No, it does.
man. Yeah, it just looks fun. And
Yeah, so what have I been
irreverent.
saying on here for like a year and a half now that they need to do desperately if they want to get back their audience? They need to go back to the old style.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about political stuff, any of that. That obviously, that's a whole other conversation. I mean the old presentation, the old art, the old feel of when I look at a movie about these characters, or I look at a comic book about these characters. It's like I step back in time and I'm back in the 40s or something. I'm telling you, that would draw them back. That would draw in audiences. Draw
the
them back.
games have it right, because the games do that
Yep.
quite often.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's true. That is true.
People buy them.
Yeah. And that's what that kind of looks like to me. That looks like old Metropolis. That looks like Metropolis, from like the Silver Age or something.
Yeah,
in
but
the
it also
background
takes
there.
you back to the old days, like you on about Pixar, with the old school Shrek movies and stuff like that we all grew with.
I think that's what
I just
DC
watched half the
should
trailer.
do.
It looks fucking funny. So
DC should focus on that. They should focus on taking a little bit of the realism out of their stuff and going back to that hyper stylistic style that they used to have. Because I think most people, when they think of a comic book, that's what they think of. They don't think necessarily of these ultra realistic looking, or well, now the artists suck so much they can't even do that. But that's what that's what a lot of their books are. They have this very realistic style. And a lot of people do like that. I actually personally like it in most books too. But I think for them as a brand and as for the industry as a whole, I think DC, specifically DC, should go back to this style. As a main, not just in like one or two books. I'm talking this is how we're going to do our books. This is our new style. This is it.
You mean like
And
the
just run
Batman,
with
the
it.
animated series type stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That was a good series, yeah.
And all I can do is keep my fingers crossed. Although, who wants to hedge their bets on the fact that this will get canceled because the dog's white?
Don't say shit like that, Jesse.
Well,
You
they
ruined
did
it already.
You know how
cancel
they are.
Jupiter's Legacy because it didn't make enough views, and two, the main character was a Christian conservative, so we couldn't be having that.
Yeah.
Couldn't be having
Your
that.
country is so full of politics all over the place.
It
It
is.
scares me.
It is ridiculous.
It's so bad. It's like there's like religious politics, government politics.
Like,
There's so many fucking layers of politics.
remember
It's like
when
a
Tim
fucking
Allen
onion. America's
was like-
a fucking onion.
was one of the most popular shows on TV is Last Man Standing, and it got canceled just because
Really?
because Tim Allen happens to be a moderate. Really, he's not even a conservative. He's just a moderate.
Oh.
So they canceled his show without any. They didn't even say anything. They didn't even say why. They're just nah, you're done. See ya.
What the fuck, man? Seriously. England can be a bit weird with stuff, but it's nowhere near like it is over there. The politics are nowhere near as crazy with anything.
Yeah, but
There's a
you
few
have
woke
other
things
things
here
that are
and there.
crazy
There's a few.
But fair enough.
Oh, I
Politics
don't know
are stupid,
about
I
that.
agree. Now, the team,
crazy.
the writing team for this is the same one that put out Lego Batman and Lego Ninjago.
they were fun.
And those are fun. The Batman
Yeah.
movie, Lego Batman,
This
is
movie's
certainly
good
fun. Kevin Hart is Ace, but it looks like they've given him superpowers and he's not Bat Hound. Maybe he'll become Bat Hound at the end or something. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do. Because all these pets get, they show you in the trailer, they get transformed and gain powers. The squirrel, for instance, has electrical powers. Of course.
The turtle made me laugh.
Yeah. No, check it out. I hope it's good. There have been a lot of animated things like this that come out constantly you don't even know about, and for the vast majority of them, they're woke nonsense. Particularly Sony Animation. It's really
but the
stupid.
DC, but the DC animated stuff that they do is always good. I find DC and animation
it is good. Yeah.
Everything they do is always spot on. Even the like average
Is that
animation
true?
stuff is still good.
Michael
Whose
Vick
voice
is
is
voicing
Lex
Lex Luthor. That would be perfectly ironic.
Oh.
Can I say something controversial? Do you think
You
Michael
always
Vick
do.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Do you think Michael Vick should have went to jail for the whole dogfighting
Yes.
thing? Why?
Absolutely. Because dog fighting is morally reprehensible.
Fair enough, but is it jail worthy?
Yeah.
It was more than just putting his dog into the dogfight. Wasn't he running a dogfighting ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was training him and stuff
They
like that.
slaughtered.
That sounds.
They
pretty
slaughtered dozens of animals.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah.
he should be in prison.
No,
Certain
see,
levels of brutality shouldn't be permitted in society, and that's
I-
one of them.
I don't know
understand
the
that-
guy.
Animal cruelty.
I understand the knee-jerk reaction. I do, and I actually agree. I don't like it. However,
Just so,
I don't
sorry.
think people should go to jail for the death of
No,
animals.
I think they should go to the gallows
All right.
for
Yeah,
all
it
right.
de- it
for
depends- it depends on
extreme
direction.
animal
how-
cruelty.
All right.
For extreme
Depends.
animal cruelty, yes, you should die. Absolutely.
Well,
I don't value
Yeah.
human life above the life of other things. I just don't. I don't care. Humans suck. We're the worst species on this
humans
planet.
suck,
It's not even
pets
close.
can suck, but you would never hurt your pet. You'd hurt another
No.
human.
No, that's
I
true.
love
Yeah.
dogs. I love cats. You know, I wouldn't want to say a dog. That what you just said. That's horrible.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I understand
you're
the
wrong.
sentiment.
You
No,
lived in
I
Japan
understand the
too long.
sentiment. I just don't know that it's jail worthy. A fine.
Yeah.
But jail
Depends
worthy.
how
Jester.
bad it was.
Mister, how many dogs have you killed? That's why.
I have never killed a dog or hurt a
So it
dog.
sounds
I
like-
have a dog, but I'm also
Cats?
a hunter.
Cats?
I never know, but I've killed many animals in my life.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, I
me
wouldn't
too.
care if a bunch of people killed a bunch of deer or cows or whatever.
Why?
But when it comes
Why is a deer
Because you
different than a
eat
dog?
them.
Yes,
You
people
eat
eat
them.
dog too,
You skin
and cats.
Well,
Only,
humans
only in
eat
China.
dogs. I don't know about people. Let's not get crazy.
Speaking of people, did you see the PTA PETA thing. Then they released a bunch of clothing based on human like eyeballs and stuff, and thinking, "Oh, this will get people sick." And I had to link it to you. It's like
The only
the
reason I
whole
support and am okay with deer being killed and eaten is because if we don't, they become a pestilence. They're a
Yeah, no,
problem
they
if
need
we
to be
let them.
managed. That's true.
Yeah.
But whatever. I didn't want to get into a conversation of it. I just think it's a bit extreme.
oh, dude.
I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, last story of the day. Eric and I are going to have a
What
conversation
the hell
here.
is this?
I need to look at the PETA
Nosferatu.
stuff. I just
Oh,
downloaded
that's
that
how
to
it's
watch after
spelled.
last stream.
Now,
Oh
Yeah,
no!
it took me a minute to figure it out.
let me go
Thanks.
check what they're putting on Discord over here. Let me check it out.
That's
I don't
terrible.
see
I was
it.
to say, look at the PETA stuff. You need
Where
to
is
look at
it?
it, Chester.
Where?
I haven't linked it. I'm trying to find the right. They basically made shoes that look like the soles are made out of human teeth, and it's all made of human skin. There's a jacket made of eyeballs and skin. It's like basically Bane, because they're all like, "Don't eat meat." Just looks like cool horror gear.
Oh, I see. So they made something
It's
people go
fucking
to school and actually
hilarious.
wear it. I get it. Yeah, well, PETA are
Yeah,
a bunch of
that's why it's
idiots.
funny.
They don't know how to
If you
do their
saw
job.
it, you.
Well,
Anyway,
their job
I'll
is
find it and
to
link it.
slaughter animals. They kill more animals than any private
I need to find
organization
it.
on the
It's fucking
planet
That's
besides
true.
farms.
That is true. But yeah, they're like vegans, idiots.
Yeah.
Be a vegetarian. Stop it. Um,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk
Well,
about this.
no one's really a vegan. Go ahead.
Nosferatu. Now,
Not what you think it is.
this show has 2 seasons. It and in that it got canceled and
You're not
rightfully
gonna ruin
so.
it for me, are you?
I'm not gonna. Well, I am gonna spoil it. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. But I don't recommend this at all. I don't even know if Eric recommends it. But the 2 seasons are good in a way because it does tell a complete story. It does tell the whole story that you want to tell. The problem I have with this is, as you see Zachary Quinto sitting there, he's freaking awesome. His Charlie Manx character is really good. It's so well developed. It has so much depth to it. But the girl on motorcycle you see over here that they desperately want to be a dyke, even though she isn't, she's insufferably horrible. And she's your hero. And the whole time I watched it only for Zachary and his performance, and I was rooting for him the whole time. And he's a bad guy. I mean, he's a real bad guy.
He's real bad.
Yeah, there's no redeeming.
Except, who was the? I can't remember the guy's name. The big dummy. Was working for Zachary Quinto.
The gassing rapist murderer guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Norwegian here.
Oh my god! When he finally captured Zachary, was talk about things he was going to do to his mouth. I was like, "Holy shit!"
God.
That's what it got a little weird for me there.
Well, this guy did a great job. He did do a great job.
He did.
Olafur Dari. I think it would have been creepier if they had like a lanky, skinny guy. It would have been creepier. But he did a pretty good job. But that's about the only praise I have. I think this Indian girl here, who is painfully ugly. My God, she's ugly. But she was the.
She is a YouTube sensation. That's how she got this gig. That's all she's ever done was this show and her YouTube channel on makeup.
But she was the only other character worth mentioning, though.
Because the main character, Vic, she's insufferable. You like her less and less as the show goes on.
Horrible. And here's the thing I don't understand. You have a show here, and this character Vic, which is played by Ashley Cummings here, Vic McQueen, and she is a normal girl, kinda, who has men in her life, has a kid. She's nothing lesbian about her. Whereas the Maggie Lee character, played by Jakara Smith here, is a lesbian. Of course, you got to have one, right? And the problem is that the Maggie Lee character was all dolled up and trying to make her cute, and even though she's the lesbian, whereas Vic, who is not a lesbian, clearly they not in this season 2 was the worst. They not only do they dress her in men's clothes. I mean, she's literally wearing man cut pants, not women's jeans, man jeans. Everything
Yeah.
they have her walking like a man, she's sitting like a man. Everything they do is to make her male. But yet she's not a lesbian. I don't get it, dude. What was the point of that? Because they did it intentionally.
Try to trick the viewers. I don't know.
Well, because she's not a good actress, so it's so clear what she's doing. You can see it. It's so leading. But I just don't
based on
understand the
something.
thinking, dude.
Is this series based on a comic or something?
A book.
It's a book
It's a book.
by Joe Hill, a comic book and a book by Joe Hill.
Yeah.
I think it's
Alright.
Nosferatu and the Wraith.
So which is the
book.
car?
Yeah.
The skin didn't look like a Christmas story with weirdness.
Well, the other thing that's mentionable about this though, Rabbit, is this was directed, right? Or
Yeah.
was the screenplay written by Stephen King's son?
Oh, dear.
He's the original author of the comic book and the
Right.
book.
Okay, so
I don't
he's
know
just
if
the writer.
I don't know what he did with
It's like
this,
the lesser
show.
version of the guy who can't write
Well,
endings.
He's chosen Massachusetts instead of Maine, but he's kind of sticking to his dad's formula, which is not a bad
Oh,
idea.
okay.
It's
No,
not
no.
for me, the reason I want to talk about it was because Eric recommended it, and in a way, I'm happy I watched it because of Zachary Quinto, because he really does develop a really nice character.
I do
But-
like him as an actor, yeah. So.
Well, he just did a great job, and the Charlie Manx character was so fleshed out. We know exactly why he's doing what he's doing. We know exactly, right? Charlie Manx is now a living thing, as it were. Are any of the other characters fleshed out at all?
No.
No.
No, not really. I mean,
Is it
Charlie's
worth
great,
watching
and
still?
for his character, it is. He is reprehensible, but he's such a great actor, and
Yeah.
the role he plays is spectacular. I mean, he goes around, he kidnaps children, and turns them into little vampires. Takes
I like the idea.
takes them to Christmas Land, his little
Pretty
private
dark.
inscape place.
Inscape, yeah.
And he brings people for them to eat.
Yeah.
I like it. That's
Yeah.
pretty dark.
It is dark.
Because
It's
I've been
beautifully
watching.
dark.
You watched the Child's Play series yet, Chucky?
Oh,
It
God,
literally
no.
follows
No,
on
not yet.
exactly from the last movie. That literally follows from the movie. Yeah, it's amazing. It just got even darker recently. I don't know, really. It has the original actors from the first movie in it. Now,
Well,
yes, I know you think it's woke, but it's not. It's not woke.
Well, I
It's got
haven't
a
watched
gay
it yet.
kid
I
in
don't
it.
know if it's woke or not.
It does have a gay kid in it, right? But it's not really the main arcing story of it all. It even has a fucking woman in it from Bride of Chucky.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, I want to go into it. I know it's not comic related, but it literally is continuation from the movie series.
Well, maybe I should give it a chance.
You need to watch more than one episode. That's
All
the
right,
thing
fair
with it.
enough. But this right here, though, the cosmology of it is great idea. You could do something cool with this. Now, personally, Zachary Quinto, he is the main producer of this, so it's a vehicle he took on for himself, obviously. The problem is his character is dead, which is good, and that arc is done. It is done, right? So there's nothing more to do with his character, but the world itself could be something, don't you think, Eric?
Oh, definitely. I think it could. That's why I want to go out and get the comic book. It's in trade paperback forms. That's why I'm going to get.
You
I'm going
said
to
he's
check
following the
it
Stephen
out,
King
and then
thing,
probably
right?
try the novel too. Stephen King's son,
Yeah.
Joe Hill.
But,
Who's
no,
the
but
actual
if he's
comic book
following
writer?
his formula, all of his
It
stories,
is,
because
it
all of
is.
Stephen King stories follow in the whole area, don't they?
Yeah,
And they all kind of
Mhm. Yeah,
intersect
yeah.
with each other.
and
They
what
can
he's
overlap,
done,
so
yeah,
it could be good.
it's true. And what he's done here is he's set down his cosmology. We know his dad's cosmology is all around the Dark Tower, right?
Yeah.
Everything's connected to that, and his son is doing the same thing, which I don't think is a bad thing. But the cosmology that he's created, it's different, dude. It's a different way to look at magic, basically. And
Okay.
I really think there's something you can do with it. I think there's something cool there. Unfortunately, I don't know who the casting director was. I don't know who was ultimately in charge. They hired the absolute worst actresses and actors. Like I said, there was only 3 worth mentioning, and they're really nowhere near the level of Quinto. But
It can only get better, though, right? I mean, the next thing he does
it's
could
canceled.
be amazing. No, the next thing he does, not next season.
Maybe.
Next thing he does,
Yeah.
based on the same kind of
Yeah.
world.
Well,
Is
I think what he did. This is just my opinion, but I think what he
wasn't on
did was
Netflix, was it?
he. No, it wasn't.
I was just
Hulu,
gonna say he was cancel everything.
which is Disney. Yeah, okay. But anyway, what the kid did was he took his father's idea of The Shining
Mhm.
and he elaborated it into his own thing. I believe
Yeah.
that's what happened. What, don't you think so, Eric?
Yeah,
I haven't
exactly.
watched it,
'Cause,
but
yeah,
yeah, I'll give
Yeah.
it a watch.
So, but I thought it was really interesting. I can't bring myself to recommend it because your hero is so unheroic. The whole time you're rooting for the bad guy, and he's a really bad guy. You should not be rooting for
it's
him.
worth watching for his performance.
He's awesome,
That's the
dude.
way I think. Yeah.
He is awesome.
I'll watch it, Eric. I will watch it. I downloaded it the other day because you mentioned it. Yes, was it yesterday you were on about it? Mentioned it. I remember
Yeah,
seeing something
yeah.
about it and thought I'll have a watch because it's interesting. Love
It is
turning
interesting, and
kids
it's a
into
shame.
vampires and stuff. It's really dark, and I love dark
Well,
stories. So.
technically, they call them demons, but
Well,
they're vampires.
why is it called Nosferatu though? Is it because he turns into vampires?
It's the
Because
license plate on
Nosferatu
his
obviously
car.
is Nosferatu. But,
Yeah,
you know.
it doesn't really. It shouldn't have been called that, or
No,
they should have
that's
tied it in
what
better. But
when you
here's
said
the
it, I
thing.
thought it was going to be about that character, but it's not at all.
That's what I thought too by the title, but it's the license plate of the car, and the original book was called The Wraith, which it's a Rolls Royce Wraith. The license plate on the car is Nosferatu, and that's what they named the comic book series was Nosferatu.
So that's
Right.
why okay, so that makes sense with the name because I thought the name was stupid, but now you've said that it makes more sense.
The car
it's not
is
stupid sounding.
The car is a vampire though. So
the car's a character, is it?
Kind of, yeah. It's like
the car.
I would say it's similar to Christine.
Yeah, you
Christine,
can see the influence
Jesus
from his
Christ.
dad.
Yeah.
You can see it.
He
But
just took everything his dad wrote, except for Pennywise. Is there a clown in it that eats children?
well, he's not eating the kids, but he actually loves children. I think that's an interesting little twist on the character. However, like I said, they flesh it out really well. There's a reason he's doing what he's doing because he is broken. However,
I've never heard of
our
it.
main actress here playing your hero, Vic McQueen, Ashley Cummings, would you give us some adjectives to describe this actress, please, Eric?
Stiff,
Uh-huh.
likable,
Uh-huh.
boring, kind of maybe. No, she's not even cute.
No,
I think your best description was.
No, well, I have actual proper adjectives for her. Whiny cunt.
Whiny
That's what she
cunt.
is.
All you need to know.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. She's insufferable, dude. And it's a shame because this could have been absolutely spectacular, dude. It could have.
I mean, maybe she did really good on the casting though, and then just sucked when they filmed it. You never know. Maybe it wasn't their fault.
I don't know what happened, but not good things, dude. Not good things. And let me try to see who the director is. It should have been up top, isn't it? Huh. Why don't they have that listed first? You would think they would. But anyway, it's. Yeah, I don't even see the director. I guess they didn't want their name on this shit. All right.
Oh, there's multiple directors.
Oh, are they? They did it like that, huh?
Probably different
episodes.
episodes.
All right.
Yeah, there's at least 10 of them.
Honestly,
I haven't heard of any of them though.
The ugly girl here, the Indian girl, if they had made her the hero, it would have been leagues better because she's a more interesting character. She's a better actress, clearly.
she is and she's not an actress, really. That's the weird thing. She was a better actress than the woman that's been an actress for the past 10 years.
Right, and she's heroic as well. I mean, your hero must be heroic. Jahakara, whatever, however you pronounce that name. She actually is heroic. Cool. But whatever. It's just one of those things. It's like, damn it, dude. It could have been great. Anyway.
There's a lot of things like that you're watching. Like,
accents are horrible.
Oh, well, that's true. The only little side note I'll make is this was shot in my home state, and many of the shots were actually in my hometown, which is not something that happens. So that was kind of neat. But the accents are horrible. But every time you see an accent, like when Rabbit laughs at us for our English accents because they're so stereotypical.
It's true.
Yeah. There's no nuance.
It's like English and American accent. It's the same. I laugh at that as well.
Guy that plays the main girl's dad, played Micro in the Punisher TV series.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Now, to be fair, his accent was a little more on point. There were some of the adults.
He is from New York. He is from New York.
Yeah, but he was doing a New England accent though. But it was more.
Yeah, but like the mom is actually she's from Texas.
Yeah, no, hers was horrible. Yeah.
Girl Vic McQueen, she's from Saudi Arabia.
I was gonna watch it and you're putting me off the more you talk about it.
No, because I can't recommend it. I won't recommend it, dude. But it's I'm just saying it's such a shame. Because
Rabbit, you might actually like it though, just because
I will watch it.
I kind of liked it, so yeah.
Yeah, so I might like. I mean, I like Stephen King, and if it's like a vibe of that kind of thing, I skimmed it and it looks interesting. So
yeah, well, and Quinto's awesome.
I've got both the seasons, so
he is, and it's dark as shit, dude.
That's my thing. I love dark.
Yeah, Thundero's been very quiet.
I'm half asleep.
Oh, okay.
And as I say, maybe it's tired. Maybe it's fed up of the me drunk talking over everything.
No, okay. I mean, no, I would just tell you if I was. No, this show sounds unbelievably boring. Just unbelievably boring. I like Zachary Quinto. I think he's a good actor. I don't think he's good at anything else. I don't think he's a good creative. I don't think he needs to get into that. He should just stay in his lane.
Yeah.
And act.
Yeah. Well,
and everything I've heard you guys say about this for you, Chester, and then these guys today too, it just sounds boring. I'm not interested at all. It's done nothing to make me care about it.
The thing is, though, it's not boring. It could have been awesome. Is my problem with it. That's my main.
It's the fact that you keep saying it could have been awesome that puts people off straight away.
Well, because
the idea behind all their powers, their abilities, is very interesting.
Oh yeah, I like it, and you can see his father's influence on him. You can. And I like the idea of fleshing out The Shining.
You obviously like enough of it.
But the way they go about the magic, though, Rabbit, like I said, he took The Shining and he made his own thing.
I'll watch it and I'll think about it.
It is very cool. Anyway, I do need to get on with my day. I have a lot of work to do.
We're doing G&Q next week. This week.
I think so. Yeah.
This week, yeah.
Are we doing Spannerhead?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do
I don't know what to do, but that would be fucking hilarious.
Let's help Marvel with better art. Let's do that. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what we're doing, but we are doing it, so I'll think of something. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind tomorrow, if you're interested in the campaign, we do have a new one started up. Bill is doing old school D&D, so come and be that part of that. Come back for the 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Drone Recorder Ultimate Edition. That's always fun. But other than that, Eric, you got any closing comments for the folks?
Oh, no, I ain't got none.
Nothing? No recommendations for the peoples?
I still recommend Ghostbusters. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it.
Yeah, watch it. Dude, that movie
made me cry.
It's so nice. Yeah, you get. Yeah, I don't want to ruin it, but yeah.
Yeah, you know where.
It's so much better than the trailers as well, because the trailers kind of think,
yeah.
but then you watch the movie, it's like, pretty good.
Fair enough. Rabbit, anything?
Well, same as Harry, watch that. But also, if you like horror, go and watch Child's Play. You may read a lot of woke crap about it, but it's actually not woke at all. There's a gay kid in it. Yeah, whatever. But if you get past that, the actual horror is really good. It's got all the original actors in it. It was on straight from the movies, if you've watched them all. And it gets darker and darker and more violent as you go.
So it's not based
awesome.
on this stupid robot android tech thing.
Oh God, no, dude! It's Steven Dorff.
Okay,
it is fucking amazing.
All right, now he is cool. That
I can tell you all the deaths, and there've been some good deaths, very good deaths.
Now, okay, I'll have to. Check
if you like horror, you just have to get past the first episode, and you're prejudiced of thinking everything's woke because not everything's woke.
Well, the thing is, they scare you off. You hesitate these days, whereas you used to didn't give a shit. I mean, if it was 10 years ago.
True, I thought, oh, gay kid, oh, blah, 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 but it's not. Yeah, it's got that in the storyline, but it's not really it's not what it's about. It's about Chucky. And when you watch the last episode I just watched, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going to happen? And it just got renewed for season 2. It's going to get messy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. But I mean, Rabbit, if it was a decade ago, I wouldn't even have blinked at it. I'd be like, okay, let's go.
And neither would I. No, I mean, I now watch it just because I love Child's Play, but I wouldn't have thought about it. But it was always in the back of your mind because, everyone's just ramming it down your throat.
That's the problem. There it is.
But
is Jennifer
when you
Tilly
actually watch it,
she is.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, Andy was in it. Fucking the original cast is in it. Everybody's in it. It's fucking awesome.
Is Jennifer Tilly looking?
Well, she's not in it herself as such at the minute. I don't want to ruin it for you. She's in it, but she's not. I could ruin it for you. I would ruin it. Yeah. Some very creepy, dark shit that goes on.
As long as her breasts are in it, I'm all good.
Oh, there's someone. I know, because I'd ruin the story. I could ruin the story right now, but I'm not, because she didn't come into it till like a bit later in the series.
Why is it, Eric, that Tilly comes off to me as being a really fun ride?
You know her voice as soon as you hear it.
She's got it. Yeah, it's the voice. That's it, and her demeanor. Yeah,
you want to play with her. That's true. Anyway, Thundero, take us out of here, man.
I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Later.
Namaste.
I love it.
Later, everybody.
Fuck you all. I'm off.